All right, tonight, Tuesday, October the 14th, for our regular meeting at 6:00 PM. If you would, please rise for the pledge, followed by invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bow your head, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we have a lot of decisions to make tonight, so we've all been sick at our stomach trying to figure out what to do. So please guide us in the way we should do in the best for the county. Can't even talk straight. Thank you, Lord, for everything you do for us. And thank you for watching over us. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Collins. I'm sure I won't get tongue tied a time or two also. The first portion of the meeting would be a public hearing for anybody wanting to speak on the additional appropriations that were advertised for tonight. There was quite a list of them. So I would open that portion of the meeting now. Is anyone here to discuss any of the additional appropriations that have been advertised? Going once, going twice. No comment on additional appropriations. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn that portion of the meeting. White with the motion, Collins with the second. All in favor? 5-0. And we do have two members that could not be present tonight due to other prior engagements they had to be at. And I understand that, but that would be James Ritchie and Justin Cheatham, who could not be present tonight. So next up would be opening our regular meeting for public comments. Anybody have any public comments for anything that is not on the agenda? And so I'll tell you, there's probably going to be some amendments to it because it was put together and some things are rapidly changing in this county, one of which I plan to change on yours, Judge, under circuit court. I forgot completely of adding the discussion of recovery court coming up, so we'll add that for you. Another one that we'll have to add as we move along is the vote for the commissioners on the use of opioid funds for that church building. I forgot to put it on there. So those two, I know we'll need to make an amendment at some point tonight for. Anybody have any others that they know of I overlooked or need to talk about? If not, the first thing up on the agenda is one that I don't think any of us are excited about, but we postponed after talking the final vote or a vote on the judgment bond that has been talked about for quite some time here in Scott County. And what's brought us to this point is some spending, some overspending, some different things. But going through the 26 budget, I know Councilman White had expressed that he would like to go back and take another look at the budgets and maybe there were some cuts could be made. We did meet a time or two. We looked at those all over again. We did make some additional cuts. Those are kind of minor. We met with our commissioners to talk about some questions we had on budgets. We still haven't gotten much guidance back from those questions yet. So I think those are probably going to be funded at this point as they stood or as they were. And then we'll move forward in conjunction with what they want to do with those departments. That brings us to what's on the board, which is about $650,891 in the general fund for 26, $48,000 in the lit public safety fund, and $94,000 in the lit special purpose. That would be all that we would have to work with in 26, should we choose not to entertain a bond, which, in my opinion, after crunching these numbers and looking at them and seeing the additional appropriations even for tonight, which are close to 500,000, I think roughly somewhere around there.
Not out of the general though.
But no, not out of general, like all combined.
Okay.
I don't see how we can move forward, and anybody who, I don't want to say support a bond, but understand that that's the option I think we have to take, then please show me how we make this work with roughly $800,000 for a year when we look at several $100,000 every meeting in additionals. So that's what I've came to realize with this, and what I've laid a lot of my stay up late at night decisions on. And I'll give any of you guys who wish to talk a moment to say your concerns or whatever versus this bond before we bring it up.
Just give you my opinion.
Sure.
I'll be voting no. I think everybody, that's no surprise. And it's not that I disagree with you guys so much. But I think there's some issues here. I don't even know how we're gonna pay. How much is the bond gonna be a year?
A year,
6%?
Baker Tilly would have to give you those
Okay.
numbers, I'm
I
sorry.
don't even know if we can pay that much. I
And
don't
that-
know how well we are off to do that.
So that would be a
It's
tax that's
revenue, yeah.
brought in to pay
Yeah,
that.
but we will be paying the revenue out of the bond.
No,
But where's the
it
money?
generates a revenue from a property tax levy.
Yeah, this is a separate tax levy just for these bonds only.
It's 20 years? How
Uh,
long will we be paying?
It is a 20,
It's a maximum of.
max of 20, can be
Yeah.
paid
When
off.
you say max, what's that mean? I mean,
So-
could it be less?
Yeah, the ordinance you have in front of you says parameters. So the amount in there is a not to exceed, same with the amount, the term of the bonds and an interest rate. So it's just a not to exceed. We can't go over that when we sell the bonds.
So how many years are we gonna be paying?
I think Baker Tilly structured it out for 20 years.
It'd be easier for me if we had one we were getting paid off, but I know we're 8 or 9 years away from the jail getting paid off and
The
that
other
would-
one.
it would be a lot simpler.
The other one, we have two in the county, and I'm just not butting in, I'm just being
That's okay.
straight up. I did ask that question, and that is 8 or 9 on the jail.
Yeah.
The other one is the one in the TIF district up north at Tri-Hawk, and
Yeah,
it matures in January of 29.
yeah, and it would be easier for me if we could retire one and put this in its place. I don't see that happening. So it's 6%, is that correct? Go ahead, wait a minute, it's not my turn anymore. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Just, I think it's $50,000 with the PO. Isn't that correct? Left on Tri-Hawk?
No, that's per payment.
Oh, it's okay.
And how often is that payment?
Twice a year, semi-annual. both.
And our payment will be twice a year on this, or how will this work?
Yes.
Yeah, Tri-Hawk's different because that's secured just by property taxes from those parcels, that TIF. What I would say is, I don't want to speak completely for Baker Tilly, they're not here, they're the CPAs, the number crunchers, I'm just one of the attorneys. But they had strong concern and believed that if you did not pass a bond, you would have to do one early next year.
I
Just at
think
the-
that's possible.
Yeah, just at the rate that you're spending
Mhm.
and your reserves are well below what is recommended by Baker Tilly for your rainy day fund. So if you have one catastrophic event, it will wipe you out.
Well, we have something catastrophic, we might be in trouble anyway, but, I get your point. I'm hoping more money's coming in, I'm hearing numbers, not everything I hear is, I hear different opinions here and there, so I think it's worth a try, and I could be making a bad mistake, I realize that, but I don't want, we still don't know how much the payment's gonna be, you might know, how much, those- somebody
You
give me
won't
a
know
guess.
until they sell it for sure, which will be later, or within a
Yeah.
couple of months.
Baker Tilly had some number runs. I thought they might be here tonight to present on that. I don't have, I know they presented the last couple meetings, but.
You have that, JR? I mean,
I just can't remember.
They give it all of us, but I didn't bring it with
I
me.
think I can dig mine out if we need to. You want me to try to dig those up?
I'm just curious, I think that's something that ought to be told. Yeah,
We had also talked about maybe not taking the bond and then taking a bank loan out
yeah,
if we got in the bind.
yeah.
But we've got other stuff in the county that I don't know that we can afford to take a bank loan out. Because it'd be the same interest as what the
Yeah,
bond would be.
so we're talking up to 6 mil, is that correct? But if we can ask for whatever we want, is it gonna be 6 mil and we work up to that, or how's that work?
So it's a not to exceed 6 million.
Mhm.
The judgment, so these are judgment funding bonds, your judgment amount, at least what was specified, there were some ancillary costs that are also tied to it, was 4.5 million, your settlement agreed order.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna vote no, but that's just my opinion. I think this will get us by, how many years? Anybody got a guesstimate on that? I mean, we're gonna be paying bills to pay bills now we would like to be paying that's coming up for next year, is that correct? There's gonna be bills we've gotta pay, and this is going to pay those bills, this bond will, is that right? Am I wrong? It's gonna be paying for something.
Yeah, it'll be paying for some of that, yeah.
Okay, well, what else will it be paying for?
It'll be paying for the judgment mostly, but, you've already paid out of pocket, some money for the judgment, so you can reimburse yourself for what you've spent so far to use for other items.
So I think what I'm trying to get at, if we do 4.5 million, will that pay us the next 2 or 3 years? How long is that gonna last? That's up to us, right?
Yeah, that part I don't know.
And I'm hearing like 2 or 3 years to keep it going. I don't know if we really know that, that's just what I hear. And it's the way I'm seeing it, we'll be paying 17 more years on this bond for 3 years worth of getting us a break. And I don't know, I just have a problem with that. I mean, we're gonna be in this same position very well in 3 years. And have to take a second bond? I don't know I mean, you guys are finance people, I'm not, and I know you, and JR, I appreciate you, I know I'm sounding like I'm arguing,
No.
but I know you crunch the numbers the best you can. But I just don't, I mean, it's not gonna pay interest for, I don't know how we're gonna do this, it's just, we're gonna spend 4.5 million the next 3 years, or maybe 4 if we get this by. Then after that, we're just paying out.
Yeah.
And that's, like I said, if we had something that was retiring, I'd be a little easier for me, but we don't.
So again, try not to speak too much for Baker Tilly. I think you're gonna have to take one out. Like, whether it's now or early next year, that's the municipal advisor. So I don't want to.
And you know what, I agree with you on that, because I know we've got the city hall and all that coming up, and I know we can't do that without some kind of a bond. But I don't know, is it just wrong to put these all into one, or how am I looking at this?
So,
This particular bond is a judgment bond.
I realize
It
that.
is to try to fix the damage that has been caused by the sheriff's department. This bond is to do nothing but fix the shortfalls that we have now from the overspending over there. And anybody that knows me, I've beat myself to death. There ain't nobody in this room wanted this bond any less than I did.
Yeah, there's one person.
And I've done the math every way I can do it. There is, if we don't take this bond, it's because this council just doesn't want to face the fact that we're fixing to make this county insolvent. And when we do that, there'll be no opportunities to borrow money.
Can we not, next year, February, whatever it is, when the city hall issues, I know the commissioners are looking at it in November, is that right? You're gonna take a look what?
you cannot take this bond in
That's
next year.
that's
This one
a
ends
totally separate
25.
issue.
Yeah, this one's built in, I think, to the budget too.
But you can't do both into one?
No,
You can't do city hall and this in one bond?
No,
So,
No, because it's.
That's not what I was told from Baker Tilly.
this is a judgment bond.
I realize it, but I tell you, I was told from Baker Tilly we could pay city hall out of this bond too.
yeah.
well, in a
Roundabout way.
roundabout way, yes.
Well, I'm ready to go roundabout.
Because you're gonna
You've got a
free up.
judgment of 4.5 million. You've already spent some money towards that judgment.
Mhm.
When we sell the bonds and you get those proceeds from the bond sale, you can take the funds that are out of that sale and reimburse yourself for what you've already spent on that $4.5 million. And these are taxable bonds, so you can use those funds for city hall or whatever you would like. So that's what I was kind of explaining earlier, is you can reimburse yourself out of this sale of these bonds for funds you've already spent on that $4.5 million judgment, and you can use them elsewhere.
But we can't do this first year.
I
No,
think what you're trying to say is that it's going to free up money in elsewhere because we're gonna
Oh,
use the
absolutely.
$4.5 million to pay for the sheriff's department and reimbursing like the hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees or the $100,000 in legal fees
Yeah.
we've already paid, and that's going to free up or add to our general fund where we can pay for City Hall. Is that what you're trying to
Yeah,
say?
that's fair.
You can't take the
Okay,
4.5
you can't-
million that we get and pay it to the City
can't
Hall.
use it
We
bond.
have to use it.
Right.
Yes, it has to be
So,
used for
First
share.
year, we're gonna, sometime early next year, we're gonna take out another bond.
Not necessarily.
Not
How are we gonna
necessarily.
pay for City Hall?
If you take the money that we spend out of the
Okay, I
general
asked.
fund, you're fine. The money we spend out of the general fund in whatever amount that is in 25 for the sheriff's department. That money we've already spent. We take this bond, cover that, pay ourselves back. That will be the money that is allocated to whatever we choose to use it, be it City Hall, be it whatever project this body decides to do. And therefore you would not have to seek a bond for City Hall.
Look at it this way, the money that we are gonna appropriate for the sheriff's budget this year,
Mm-hmm.
take that out of the general fund and the lit funds. It's going to come back because we're gonna use that bond to pay that. Also, imagine all of the appropriation that we've made for attorney's fees for the sheriff's department, which has been upwards of 75,000, right? And then our attorney, for Mr. Hansford, so maybe $85,000.
think we're more like 130.
Okay, so that 130, we can reimburse, we can reimburse the county, because they were paid out of the general fund. We can reimburse that. So really, no, you can't spend that 4.5. It goes in, but it will free up the
Free
money
up the money
to
to pay them.
Yes.
the City Hall. And I haven't seen the numbers on City Hall, but what Zach and I discussed that it would take to renovate is not an absorbent number from what I heard. Because I think that City Hall is not gonna need a lot of
The
renovation.
last meeting, I thought you guys were gonna do something in November to try to get some numbers on that. That's not accurate.
Well, you've only got one commissioner here.
Accurate, yes.
So I'm not for spending very much money on renovations. But everybody else has their own, thought process on that, so I can't answer that.
Well, you have to remember, if it's not sufficient too, for a justice that the judges can do, what got us in that situation to buy City Hall in the first place and mandate, I hopefully I don't foresee that happening. But that is another option where we're back in the same position because we've had a mandate from the judges to make this building sufficient for their justice needs.
So I'm gonna ask this one again. You probably answered it, I'm asking, if we do this, we will not have to do another bond for City Hall?
If the money's, I mean, we're freeing up $4.5 million.
I'm like Randy, I don't think that building needs that much work. I think we can move in and use it for years without.
I haven't
having to
been in
build
it, I
up
don't know.
myself.
I think,
I've been in that building.
isn't it technology that's gonna be the issue?
Here's the thing, I mean, we want to just move in, I mean, and, there's a lot of us, who's just, is in the camp that, hey, we go to Walmart, we get some paint, we repaint, and, maybe go to Home Depot, get some 2x4s and throw up some, sheet rock to make an office, for the VA service, to separate them in the sports team. We're not talking very much money, right? But to be honest, there's gonna be people that's in the courthouse, when they get moved over, they're not gonna be very happy because it's not the same layout that they've got. People will be sharing offices. So I don't know how to answer your question. It just depends on how the other two commissioners,
Understand? And I have,
I'm more in the camp, of, I'm sorry, the situation is what it is. We're gonna have to put the offices this way, we're gonna have to live with it, but
and I don't have any solid facts either. I've heard what people told me. I'm like everybody else. I've asked certain people what's gonna cost, and I've heard all kinds of different numbers. But just tax will pay for it, just bond apparently. And you guys don't think it'll go over that 4.5 million?
I mean, it can go, obviously it has a limit of no more than 6. There's some fees and stuff that we've already incurred up to this point to get, the people involved that have to do it to even begin a bond. But I don't think you're gonna know a final number until they put it up for
But it
bid.
won't exceed the 6
and
million in the.
So I can't give you an absolute number
Yeah.
to say what it's gonna look like
And
until it's
Well, I mean, I think
bought.
that's the next step if this passes, is we hire the underwriter, have a contract
To
for the
start writing.
underwriter
Yes.
to start underwriting, starting the sale of the bonds.
Mm.
They're gonna be the people that are gonna come up with the final crunch numbers. But this ordinance says that it cannot be more than 6 million.
Yeah. I get that.
Full cost, full stop, period.
But we're looking at 4.5, right?
Is
I
what,
mean,
that's
that's what I've
what
been
the
hearing.
judgment is, yes.
That's the number we've been talking about. I assume we're not going, asking for 6 million.
It will, that's what the next portion is, the way I understand it, is these underwriters write it and then they try to sell, and then we go from there on, yes, we agree to this one, we don't agree to that one. You get actual hard numbers at that point. You know, Baker Tilly sent us some looking at what it would possibly look at depending on what you go for. But I don't think anybody's able to sit and tell you exactly like to the penny what it's gonna be until you get the next step, which is the underwriting
Except that it's not going to exceed
Yes.
6 million or 20 years.
in any way, shape, or form. And they
Those are
expect,
the two certain.
and they expect the property values in Scott County with, you know, the tax on them to bring in enough to cover that. Possibly, you know, maybe enough that and some interest, I don't know, but depending on how much you final agree to, it will raise enough revenue to cover that. There won't be any more out of our bottom line to cover this. And I think as far as, you know, City Hall or whatever other projects we were to talk about, you know, that's gonna come to a point where this body's gonna have to say, this is what we got to spend on it. And like Randy said, maybe we're over there helping push a paintbrush at night, whatever it takes, but I can't see putting a huge bond on the line for that one building.
Utilities could be quite high, and that's all this. I don't have an answer to all this.
I don't, yeah, I agree. And I understand. I'm not saying you're wrong for any of your questions. I just wanted to give anybody who wanted to ask something from this body a chance before we entertain a motion on it.
And I do appreciate that because, I've racked my brain just like everybody else has. I wish I could do this next year instead of this year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. I wish you could put it off until you absolutely had no choice, but you have time constraints on to get these. If you get in a position where you have no choice and you dip into the rainy day fund that we have, which is $1.6 million,
I understand
then
that.
like they have advised us, you do that, you can't get a bond. So then you're kind of stuck. And I think we're at that crossroads now, unfortunately, where I don't know that we're gonna make it.
Irresponsible spending got us in this mess. This council had nothing to do with irresponsible spending. And I hope everybody understands that. But now we're to the point we have to fix this. And I can't let a county go insolvent because we refuse to act on something. As hard as I have thought this, I'd like to make a motion, we pass the bond as written and move on.
Now, one other thing too, that if we don't do the judgment bond, we can only, this is the last year we do the judgment bond, is that correct?
Yeah, because the judgment ends
That's what
December, so that bond would go with it. and You'd have to start a process all over.
I do think Jason knows the last meeting. I don't remember, like, for sometime later this year, if we decide we don't like this, we can say no again.
So,
He said that last.
I mean, yes, not without any fees. I think you could at some point back out.
Well,
but
you
you're
probably
gonna
have to pay for
some
the work
fees.
they've done, but I mean,
The
he
work
said
that
we
they've
could stop
done.
this if we wanted to. And I think he said by
I'll
December,
make
but I
a
don't know.
motion to accept it as written.
So Jonathan White has made a motion on ordinance number 2025-OR48, which is an ordinance of Scott County Council authorizing the issuance and sale of judgment funding bonds for the purpose of funding a judgment against the county and the incidental expenses connection therewith and on account of the issuance of the bonds. Mr. Collins has seconded that. Any other discussion from board members? All in favor of the bond signal aye. Opposed, same
No,
sign.
no.
So 4-1 on 48.
It's the appropriation ordinance.
Give me 1 second. The next one that goes hand in hand with that is ordinance number 2025-OR49, which is an ordinance regarding the approval of additional appropriation in connection with the issuance of judgment funding bonds. So this one, you can probably explain this better than me, Heather. This is like, you agree to it, then this is allowing the appropriation of such once.
Correct. It's saying that we can appropriate up to $6 million for the judgment, and the ancillary cost of the judgment. So paying ourselves back, and any of the sheriff's costs. Bo probably can articulate, is that articulate enough? Yeah.
So they act hand in hand, but they have to be done on separate ordinances. So I would entertain a motion to accept ordinance 2025 OR 49.
I make that motion.
Miller with the motion on that one, Collins with the second. All in favor of that? Same 4-1. The one is.
And then I think
All right.
it's probably appropriate to go ahead and approve the underwriter contract. Cause we're gonna need to get an underwriter on it so we can get these done by the end of the year.
Yes, so what the underwriter does is they will send out a term sheet to hundreds of banks to get you the lowest interest rate possible. They're licensed through the Securities and Exchange Commission to be able to do that, to solicit bids from banks on municipal bonds.
And I think that was sent out last month, but we
And
didn't, cause we didn't.
as
respond.
you're paid as counsel on this bond appropriation, have you reviewed the underwriter contract? And
Yes,
it's
sir.
in standard with
Very standard.
them.
Bo and I both.
And you have as well? All
Mhm.
right. Is there a separate ordinance on it, or we're just approving
No, you just
the
have to,
contract?
uh,
A motion to approve the
Would it be the commissioners that approve this though, is my
contract? They would
question?
have to
They
enter
address it to the council.
the contract.
Uh,
You want to look through that? That's-
yeah. They, honestly, they didn't address it to anybody. It just says by Scott County, Indiana. I think it will have to go, Randy, when's your next meeting? I don't feel comfortable, I guess, without the commissioners approving it first, since it's a contract that the county's gonna enter into. Does that make sense?
Yeah, if you all wanted to make a
Sorry.
recommendation to approve it, you could.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
That makes
I would,
sense.
And
I
then
would
I'll send
ask-
it to Zach.
for recommendation from this board to go to the Board of Commissioners to use the Baird Company at the recommendation of Bo Zellers, our legal counsel regarding the judgment. We just agree that we want to enter into this underwriting process to
I'd
get
make a motion to, make that recommendation to the commissioners.
the motion by White, second by Collins, all in favor of a recommendation for an underwriter. Okay, 4-1 on that, going to the commissioners. Did you have something, Randy? I'm sorry.
I know there's a lot of people probably tuning in tonight that didn't tune in last time, but I think that Baker Tilly was here. And there might be some people probably panicking at the moment, at home. But I know that they had some numbers, how much it would actually affect, each person. Do you remember the numbers that you did?
Right here, based on what they brought that night. Now, like Bo has said, and we have said, until this underwriting process, you can't, put a nail and hammer to it. But roughly $150,000 homes looking at $23 a year, up to, 100,000 commercials, like $37 a year. In that range, if you live in a $300,000 home, it'd cost you $57 a year for this.
And those rates will go down as new buildings or homes are built in Scott County.
Right.
Because it's
It would be
This is
dispersed.
share.
just to pay that bond.
Yes.
Their share.
So as
And
the,
that's the only thing I just said that.
no, that's
I
fair.
didn't mean to interrupt your meeting. I just wanted
That's fair.
people to hear that this was a lot of money, but
I'm not asking
it's
for a
not,
lot.
it's not gonna
Yeah.
greatly affect everybody like they might be thinking.
Right. No, that's a good point.
Good point.
All right. Putting that part of it to rest. The next up is you want to go through the transfers, Jennifer? Is that the
We
easiest?
can do that, whatever works best for you.
I'm open to whatever. I'll fluid. But I think there were several of them we could probably,
Did you want to start with the judge? or
we can. We can. That way we ain't got to hold him here all night.
Are we doing a resolutions and appropriation? Because I haven't
You
sorted
stay as
out
long as you want, sir.
what they are.
Hey, well, the judge is gonna,
He's got one
the
appropriation.
judge is gonna pass out something here in a minute, but I'd entertain a motion to amend the agenda to add the discussion versus on recovery court for the circuit court to the agenda. Miller with the motion, White with the second. I'm sorry, that's my fault. I forgot to add that on the agenda. So,
All right,
alrighty.
So- thank you guys for your time and thanks for the difficult decisions you've had to make tonight. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you all. I think, JR and John reached out to me late last week with some questions, and I thought, well, if they have questions, I'm sure other people have questions, and I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So I have just a little bit of a saga to tell you that I want to try to get through in about 3 minutes, just to explain to you
What number?
where we're at and what we'd like to see happen. I'd like to thank Holding Space and the Health Department for being here also. If anybody has any questions for them, I'm sure they can answer those things for you too. But all of this is interrelated. So we're seeking some funds for a recovery court. Now, what a recovery court is, it's really a recovery court program. It's not a new court. It's not a new judge. It doesn't require more court staff or anything like that. It is a court program that will help us focus recovery efforts on people who are arrested for primarily substance offenses in Scott County, some other offenses also. But we'd like to focus on people who are unsuccessful on probation, people who are recidivists, who've been in and out of jail several times, and then maybe some low-end minor offenses as well. And also some people maybe who are matriculating out of prison, who've been to prison and are coming back to our community. We'd like to put them into this recovery court program that we'd like to get started. But I've been judge since 2017. I was prosecutor from 2005 until 2016 through 2016. So I was here for the HIV epidemic. We've known since before the HIV epidemic that we needed a recovery court, but there were some obstacles that we needed to overcome. And actually, right after I got elected judge, I remember a conversation with Carissa, and I don't know if she remembers it, but she kind of cornered me and said, when can we get a recovery court? And I said, well, there's 3 things we need for a recovery court. One is we need more judicial resources, because at the time we had 2 judges doing the work of 3 judges. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that. 2 is if we have a new judge, we need more space because we don't have the hearing space to have a recovery court, because this is going to take in and of itself, not counting the magistrate's work, is going to take about a day a week on its own, half a day to a day a week on its own. And the 3rd thing we need is money. And so to pay for that court. And I think I've resolved all 3 of those issues, short of about $30,000. So we started the magistrate process in 2017, after the HIV epidemic in 2015. And it took 2 years to get the magistrate approved. The magistrate was recommended and approved by the legislature. It was recommended by state court administration, by the judges in the administrative district, and unanimously by the commissioners and the county council who were serving at that time. And I have their letter of approval with that. So that took 2 years to get instituted. What happened right after 2019? We had COVID. That set us back. As soon as we got out of COVID, what happened? The roof fell in. So I had to immediately leave the building for about 8 months. And then since then, and I know, it'd be easy for me to come in here and say, my goodness, we've known we need this building renovated for 8 years and it hasn't happened. But I'm not here to do that, because the reason we haven't gotten it done is COVID and the roof. And then it took a year to negotiate what we wanted to do. Then the city wanted City Hall for another year. And now here we are, we're really ready to start making some progress there. But what I just want to give to you guys, because nobody on the county council or the commissioners is the same. I don't have a single county councilman or commissioner that was here in 2018 when we started the magistrate process. So this is the packet that we applied, and I've already given Johnny and JR this. Yep. This is the packet that we applied for our magistrate with, which includes reference letters, data, and reference letters from former judges, from judges in the district, from representatives, et cetera. But there's a couple things. I give you this because in the interest of full disclosure, this is all here. But what I want to be clear about is that I've always tried to be transparent about what the expenses may be, and I've always wanted to make sure that everybody's understood everything we were asking for when we were asking for it. So if you take a look at that first letter, it says, for over 10 years, the court system was run on a deficit of resources. We were in the top 10 for judicial need most years. At the time we applied, we were carrying the workload of 3 judicial officers, 2.93 judicial officers. If you look on page 2, we've been talking about building renovations since before a magistrate. We were talking about building modifications when we bought the health department, and whether we might move resources out to the health department, which predates this letter. So the Cork County recently purchased a new building to expand services of the health department, which may be used to relocate other offices. Further, the county council and commissioners are committed to accommodating the addition of a magistrate through the creation of a court and office space, and through the addition of staff as evidenced by their letter. In fact, and it's still the case, as we sit upstairs, I've got the prosecutor's stuff to the gills. I have court reporters working in closets and in hallway space, and I'm sharing my office, my personal office, with the magistrate. We needed space even if we didn't get a magistrate. In fact, we are considering creating new hearing space and adding court staff even if this request is not met favorably. And then that last paragraph, it says, one of the things I want to do is create a drug court and recovery court. So that's been my goal since 2017, is to get to where we are today. Without going through the whole packet, there is a letter in there from the commissioners about halfway back, from the commissioners and the county council. This was signed by Kelly Robbins and Mike Zolman, who were the presidents of both councils at the time. Both bodies, as the letter states, both bodies voted unanimously to support the creation of the position, the magistrate position, with the understanding that although the magistrate's salary would be paid for by the state, and it is paid for by the state, and her benefits are paid for by the state, and 6 years in, that's about $1 million benefit. Although her salary is paid by the state, the county would be expected to provide all other necessities, including but not limited to hearing and office space, at least one court reporter, which was fulfilled, equipment, furniture, and office supplies. So talking about these other expenses, the extra office staff, which we probably needed even without a magistrate, the extra office space, which we probably needed even without a magistrate, those were things that we were clear and apparent about the whole time while we were applying. I understand none of you were here in the room in 2018, but I wanted to make sure everybody understood that it's important to me that I shoot to you straight, and I'm transparent, and I answer your questions honestly. And if circumstances change and unpredictable things happen that we can't control, but as I sit here, I want to give you truthful and honest answers. So we got the magistrate. We're working on the space. Now it comes down to the money. I did apply for a grant through State Court Administration. I had a budget for my program of about $150,000, and they gave me $105,000. So I'm short about $45,000. What I need to make this program work is I need a public defender, and I need to make sure I have enough salary to pay my probation officer, and I'm not sure who will get the job yet, but probation officers are paid on a scale. So of that $40,000 to $45,000 that I'm short, we're going to spend $35,000 on a public defender, of which 40% will be reimbursed yet again. So I'm really asking to get this program to work for about $30,000 to $35,000, and I can make it work. I think, we talk about, are there going to be other expenses to the program? This is going to be a high intensity monitoring court program that's going to meet, hoping to keep it to a half day a week. Some days it may run into a whole day a week, but it will not require another judge. It will not require more court staff. It will require a case manager, which is paid for under the grant. I have a grant to pay for a veterans court case manager, which actually I'm going to bring over, and then Clark County is going to fill that veterans court case manager. So I'm not looking to add another probation officer, and I don't think I need to add another probation officer. I do need the public defender to be added because their numbers are strictly based on numbers and the reimbursement. I don't want to put the reimbursement at risk, so we would need to add that help. This brings us to the prosecutor. I think the prosecutor can speak for himself, but I was the prosecutor at one point. Many years ago, and I'm never going back to that job. I very much appreciate the prosecutors that I have. But it will be more work for them, but there are 5 of them up there, and what I'm looking for is 4 to 8 hours extra a week. And I think they can handle that. Mr. Owens may feel differently, but even if they can't, first of all, it's going to take us a long time to scale that program up. There may be other grant opportunities that may be available to help him down the road if he needs that. And the other thing is, I really believe that this program will help recidivism and help keep people out of jail. 6 to 8 months ago, we haven't even started the program yet. 6 to 8 months ago, we were averaging 180 people in jail a day. Right now, we're averaging about 120 people in jail a day. So even if you say that, now that's 60 less, right? But even if we say that's 40 less people per day at $40 a day, that would save us $40,000 a month. And so if I can keep that number, that jail number at 115, 120, 125 through using these non-recidivist programs like this high monitoring program, we're going to save money in the long run. Not to mention, and these folks in the recovery community who I think very highly of can answer this for you too. Not only were we going to be keeping people out of jail, but we're going to be putting people actively back into our community who can manage to take care of themselves and raise their own kids and pay taxes and own property. And so,
Which is ultimately
the
goal.
Yep.
And we've had some awesome cases of that here, but
Yeah.
I think, I agree with you. I think we can do better and always can. For myself, in our joint meeting the other night, I made a comment that I apologize to you and our magistrate.
Accept your
I
apology.
think the world of her, and I always have, and yourself. But through my time of coming into office and hearing is like, we got this free judge, and now look, we got a threat with a mandate. We got that, and that's what I heard all along. And so I had no idea that document existed until we met, like I talked the other day. So just, me being me, I'm human. I make mistakes, and I apologize for them.
Absolutely.
You guys
No,
for it.
and that, like I said, none of you guys were here in 2018 when we went through that process. And I know I talked to both John and JR last week. They, meeting you two guys last week made it apparent to me I needed to make sure everybody else understood where we're at.
I
So,
appreciate that.
You're not talking more inmates, you're just diverting them to a different court, isn't that correct?
well, it's a court program. It's not a
Yeah.
court.
Yeah.
But no, they wouldn't be in jail. So what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, first of all, they wouldn't be in jail as long, and hopefully they wouldn't be back in jail. Now,
So
no program's gonna have a 100% success rate, right? But what we hope to do is rehabilitate folks to the point where they're not, as you were Sheriff John, so you're arresting the same people every 3 months, right?
Yeah.
The example he gave us that resonated with me, and I don't mean to jump in, but John Q. offender gets arrested for multiple DUIs or whatever, goes to jail, he gets put on a program of, reporting to someone. If you don't, oftentimes you violate by some means, it's weeks out before they ever hear about it, and they've either forgotten about it or whatever. Where this program, if John Q. offender screws up, by the end of that week, he's standing in front of him in the court, and the judge is saying, you answer to me, and I want to know why. And then ultimately, he has a lot more authority to control their outcome.
It'll be a team approach. We'll have a prosecutor, a public defender, service providers, recovery community folks, probation officer, and we'll talk about each of these folks on a case-by-case basis. We'll run between 20 and 25 people at any one time. And I'm hoping to keep, again, the court commitment, the prosecutor commitment to a half day to a day a week. So
I think it's
just two other things you have a question.
the grant, it's renewable.
The grant is renewable, and I understand, if I lose the grant, I understand I lose the program. I would say that the Veterans Court program that we're involved in Floyd County has been getting the same amount of money for 16 or 17 years. So it's a priority of state court administration, and governor's administrations can change, obviously, but state court administration, this is a priority for them. And I have an expectation that the grant money would continue, and if it didn't, I understand.
And I know you had told me that. I just want everybody else to know and on the record that it's not a one-time thing. It's a grant that is fully expected to be reoccurring to our county.
And you're right, we've had something like that a long time ago.
Yeah, and I just have two more things I'd like to add on that. One is, and I'm glad Kelly's here too, the state legislature under Governor Holcomb created what are called local JRAC committees, Justice Reinvestment Advisory Committees. And we're behind on getting our JRAC started. Floyd and Clark have theirs going. I knew it was something we needed to get going, but Kelly came into the Community Corrections Advisory Board meeting last month and said, hey, can we really get this going? We need to get it going. One of the primary purposes of the JRAC, the local JRAC committee, and it'll be composed of a judge, a prosecutor, a public defender, a representative from the commissioners and the council separately, you both get an appointee, and some other stakeholders that are involved in that, is one of the things JRAC can do is vet where we ought to be spending opioid settlement money. So in other words, you guys don't have time to figure all that out, right? And you don't understand always where the rubber meets the road. So what the JRAC committee would do is basically they would take over, along with other responsibilities, take over kind of the vetting of those, that opioid money. People can apply to JRAC, and then we can make recommendations. You're not bound to accept our recommendations. We make recommendations to the council and the commissioners about where we feel the money should best be spent. And I think that's another problem that we can solve here. And then my last thing is, as everybody knows, I'm involved with the Veterans Treatment Corps. It's a Clark Floyd Scott program. One of the reasons I got involved in that was so I could learn how to do it to bring it back here. We've been involved in that directly for 2 years, and I've been saying for 2 years, I'd like to have a graduation in Scott County. In October, we have 2 graduates from Scott County. They're born and raised here. They're going to be living here. Their cases are from Scott County. We are going to have the graduation in Scott County, not tomorrow, but next Wednesday, October 22nd, at the Armory at 6:30. And so I've got invitations for you guys for that. I would love for you to appear for that too.
Thank you.
If you can. And I already gave, you guys aren't invited. No, I already gave. So,
I think
Yeah.
Kelly had something.
Yeah,
Did you
Kelly.
want to add, or
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna cut the judge off for you, but I won't forget you either.
well, and he talked about his grant being renewable each year.
Yes, ma'am.
But, part of the, restricted opioid settlement funds, those remediation or abatement strategies, I know I confused John the other day when I said that. But part of those can be for a county to utilize those for a recovery court. So the restricted funds could continue, like if we fall into a pinch or he falls into a pinch and can't get something, that's a perfect thing for those restricted funds to go to.
Sure. I appreciate that.
There's one for both of them.
While you're up here, Judge, there was 2 additionals, one for mental health evaluations. I think we had talked about it before. It's for $6,000. So on ordinance 2025-64, I would entertain a motion to accept an additional appropriation from the general fund to mental health evaluation for circuit court in the amount of $6,000. White with the motion, Miller with the second. Oh, I'm sorry, John, I'll catch you on the next one. We got plenty. Did you get those?
5 to 0.
Not yet. I haven't done that. You- All in favor? Yep,
I
5-0.
started to raise my hand.
Yeah. There was one other, it was for some additional attorney
Do you have the
fees.
other ones?
We have it. I think it's right here.
I think the request was for 20, I just need 5.
And that's what I was gonna say. The initial request was 20,000, but after talking to the judge this week, he said if we could just move that down to $5,000, that would take care of what he needs. So I would entertain a motion for ordinance 2025-65 in the amount of 5,000, not 20,000.
I'll make that motion.
Collins with the motion, Elizabeth with the second. All in favor?
Thank you, guys.
5-0 on
I
that.
appreciate your time. My wife's waiting for me.
Yep, no, I appreciate you being here, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd
Thank you.
like to make sure you understand how much them ladies back there thanking you.
Well,
They said they would give up every dime of their funding to see to it. You got-
well, you know,
They
it
paid
truly
him to
has
say
been an
something
8-year, it truly has been an 8-year odyssey, and we're really excited to get going. You know, last thing I'd say is if anybody ever has a question, give me a call, stop up. That's how this, John said, I got some questions, and I said, I can't talk to you Wednesday, but I'll talk to you Thursday.
And
So
I appreciate that.
You came out and talked to me about smoke.
It means a lot that you took that time even on Friday to talk to us.
Do you want to do
I'm all
the
over it.
transfer resolution for
So you know,
Superior
I
Court while we're on the
Yeah.
board?
I'm trying to get to you.
Thank you, guys. If you have
Thank
any
you.
questions, let me know. I'm gonna leave one for Adam and Greg.
So I'm gonna jump back to transfers and catch Superior Court. They've asked for, you need me? We don't have to, we send a budget for it, we just have to set that budget.
Okay.
But Scott County Superior Court requested funds be transferred within their budget from the Guardian, give me that one again.
Guardian ad litem.
Yeah, that thing. Sorry, which is like children in need line.
Well, that's a chin
Right.
space. Guardian ad litems are certified people
Court-appointed.
that make recommendations on the best interest of the child.
What she said.
Yeah.
From that line to the pauper attorneys, which is the
Indigent sometimes.
Indigent kind of
I don't know
attorneys.
how, I guess I should ask him how that's different from public defenders, but there might be some situations where the judge feels like that there's a right that could be trampled on and maybe it doesn't rise to the level of a criminal public defender. So but he believes that they have some right that could be affected to cover the county.
So
Doesn't have an attorney.
Judge Hauser's asking for $834.62, which that amount of money tells me she has a specific need within her budget to transfer from one account to the other. No additional funding, and it's on resolution 2025-13.
I'll make that motion.
Miller with the motion, Collins with the second. All in favor? 5-0 on that. We got that one taken care of. What's the next one you got?
What do we got next? Where are we going next? Are we going
Let's
to?
do these transfers real quick.
Okay, Jennifer, give me what transfer you want first.
I don't care. I think
I'm
they're all,
asking Jennifer.
Oh.
I print mine, but I make her give me hers because if she made a change or something. I don't
whichever
know.
you want to throw over here.
Okay, I was gonna say, we've got, hang on.
Which I will say, most
I
of
use
these
my
look like pretty standard transfers. I reviewed a lot of them and made a list of them. A lot of them are moving from
So
like
if you want to give me.
part-time to one area or another.
Tell you what,
Some are to health
Just give me your
insurance,
pie. How's that?
there's my
just
file, here's your
basic
file.
transfers for county departments.
And I think there might be two more.
Why do we have your file and my file?
Well, I printed mine off and then I found yours down there. There's two
Oh,
from
this is gonna
tonight.
be a mess. Okay. Okay, so
You gotta
let's
do a lot of
do
signing. This is over.
This is
You
your-
better have a lot
Need a
of these.
stamp.
14.
Hey,
14.
14.
So next up is the Scott County Assessor's Office. She's asking to move from part-time to her group health insurance, $2,500. Pretty standard move. I'm sure her
Jennifer, I don't understand what's going on.
group health is short this year. Miller's making a motion on 2025-14. White with the second. All in favor of that transfer, 5-0.
Can you come here?
Jennifer, I don't understand what these
I
two
did.
different
Miller.
files are. Like, are
Miller.
these the same thing?
Yeah, one of them's yours and one of them's mine.
I made the motion and
Mine don't have the bold printer.
Miller
Well,
and
I made
White.
second.
And who seconded?
White.
Okay.
It's 5-0.
I vote.
This one I'm doing next.
Okay, and on the 14. she had two, the assessor had two.
People will get
Wait a
that
minute,
with
who
it.
had two?
The
Assessor has
assessor
to-
did. What was the amount on 14?
2,500.
Okay, wait a minute. Are you on the assessor? She
No.
said the assessors has
Should
two.
be
All
two for the assessor.
That's not on
I
there.
don't understand.
This.
I only knew
I'm
it
trying to figure
I
it
only
out.
seen-
Talk to him about
I only
that.
seen the one. What is it? What is? Okay. Couple minute break. White's there under the restroom.
Okay, yeah, let me get,
And
I don't
we'll put this
understand what
together.
we're doing here. Yeah.
Let's get Kevin out
Burn
there.
through these. Well, he's got one in here that I need to get to in this transfer list.
Okay, so that was a 2,500 for part-time. So I don't know.
7 o'clock.
Jennifer, you wanna,
I know
You-
the show, you know, all that I did.
That's right.
yeah, maybe just take out the redundant ones?
You want,
Cause I can tell you what I have in my pile.
you want to knock out health department, that's in her own funds, and then we'll get to Kevin.
Here's the second assessor.
I need White back in here
Okay.
because I'm abstaining from one of his votes. Not that I don't like him, but if you want to come on up, Brittany, you can. I'll tell you why here
Oh,
in a
this is
minute,
the
but
2,500 one.
it really don't affect me, but I just don't want any questions, so. Hey, how are you, ma'am?
Good, how are you guys?
Good. I'm gonna jump to health department while we're digging through those. Brittany requested some additional appropriations within her budgets, or her funds, I guess I should say, for supplies, and then one for group insurance.
Are they transfers or
So-
appropriation?
Those are additionals.
Yeah, I also have one transfer too.
Whenever we'll find it.
I'll be done the next one.
Where was she on the agenda? Because that will tell me where she was.
Below circuit court.
No, but we didn't have probation, we skipped. Okay. So we are at, Jennifer, I need
You need a health
the
department.
health department's additional appropriations, which should be two of them.
Then that might
There's a
give,
transfer as well.
if you want to send it, we'll do it. If you.
Yeah, I have it, okay. Let me forgive me hers, because she made a change, I don't want to be responsible.
There.
Awesome, thank you.
Let me find
This is the
additional.
transfer one,
Yes.
so this would be, I'm gonna
15.
do, no, I would
Or
do
you did
another
that,
assessors of
16.
16, yeah. So there's the health department.
So the health department, she's needing to transfer from contractual cleaning
You got it.
to trash collection, $200. Motion.
I make that motion.
Good. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-0 on that one. White stepped out. The motion is Miller, second by Collins.
Sorry, Jen.
And was that for the transfer?
That's for her transfer of $200, yes.
And that was 15?
16 is that.
16?
And then,
$200.
yeah, 200. And then she had two for the additional appropriation, which we talked about. The one is 9160 health department donations for supplies in the amount of $554 on ordinance 2025-67. You want in on this?
Yeah.
Elizabeth wants the motion on 67,
I second.
Donated money, I like that.
Yeah.
and then Miller with the second on it. All in favor? We're doing an additional if you want to vote on Brittany out of one of her funds for supplies for $554. 5-0 on that. White's back
Okay, on
in.
the 2025 R16, how many, was that a,
It's
4-0 because White was out of the room for a second. And then on, you ready for me? I don't want to go too fast, I'm sorry, but 2025-68 ordinance, and it is from the 1159 Health Fund to group insurance for personal services for the amount of $50,000. Group insurance?
It is insane.
Wow.
Yes.
All right, $50,000. So 2025-68, Miller with the motion. Second
Just
is,
question for money, where, is that?
It's coming out of her.
additional, Is
it's an additional out of her 1159
that a, you
fund.
got the money?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So Collins with the second on it. All in favor?
Did we get another
5-0 on
tax
that.
in November? Tax payment? Is that right? That's what Michelle told me.
I'll have to look.
She said you should get it about November. I said, okay, because I was talking to her about how much was in there. Okay.
You need anything else? I don't mean to run you off. Thank you for being
Send me
here.
an email on that, would you please?
You want me to jump to this?
Yeah, jump to that one.
Good night.
That was yours.
All right, jumping back to transfer, the county assessor needed one more transfer. It's $1,000 from that sales ratio line to office supplies within her general budget, general fund budget, $1,000 on resolution 2025-15. Motion from White, second by Lizzemy. All in favor of that transfer, 5-0. I'm trying to sign these just so we can keep track of which one I read.
I'm on the edge already.
How are you?
Where we going next?
I don't care. Throw me something.
Give me let's do the transfers. Give me the next transfer you have up, Jennifer. Are you still going through transfers?
Yeah, I've got, corrections, community corrections.
I sent her an email and I didn't get a reply, but I don't know why that's so off, like $36,000 on that home detention thing, but she has requested 4 total transfers for Scott County Community Corrections on resolution 2025-17. The total amount to transfer is $36,208.32. And it all comes from 4 different lines going to the home detention equipment, the leasing. I don't know why, I can't tell you what happened there, but it's all within their budget, just moving the lines around. I will say it does empty some lines out of her budget, but that's where we're at.
Who was that for, I'm sorry?
Community Corrections,
Okay.
Amanda. So I'd entertain a motion to accept the 2025-17 transfer. White with the motion, Collins with the second. All in favor of transfers? 5-0 on that.
So do you need to go? I feel bad you're sticking around.
How many more you got?
Wait, a lot.
There's a lot.
We
What else
put
do
you
need?
first because we
Yeah.
knew you'd have to go.
I didn't figure you wanted to sit here all night.
If you guys need.
Yeah, I'll call you.
What do you have next,
Yeah.
Jennifer?
We got recorders. You guys gonna move to Kevin Holler too? I mean,
We can. He has one in transfers, I
Yeah.
think. If you want to jump to it, we'll get Kevin out of here.
Actually.
Well, he's got a
And
bunch
he's got
of
some
additional. I
Additionals,
don't have
and
a
we need to talk
transfer
about
file.
community crossings, and I'm good with it if we can get Kevin out of here.
I don't have a transfer form, but I
We don't
have,
want you to leave. if you
I
want
have
to.
several appropriations.
I just promised him he was here for the long haul.
I don't, my additional appropriations for November.
I think on yours, like the one for community crossings, that had to be an additional because it went from one fund to another.
Did we
So
do,
we called it a transfer, but it's actually additional.
do you,
I'll be honest.
Yeah, those will be,
if they go from fund to fund, you can't do it by transfer. You have to do an appropriation and reappropriation.
You're right.
Sorry.
I have
No.
one for November, I don't think.
So
But that's what we.
I have the 375 for CCMG, but it doesn't have the unappropriation line in it. So I think you probably redid
did
it,
change
right?
that one.
You
Hang on just a
didn't?
minute. I did.
Okay.
Said I did.
Okay, here we go.
Are we talking about the funding for the piece of
We did a line
equipment? Yeah, you can. Yeah. I'm trying.
Okay, this is the one for the 25 that comes out of one, goes to another. Here are the ones that were.
So on the CCMG, I think in years past, and we're trying, remember how we talked about trying to straighten out Kevin's account so he can actually see both of them? We can spend out of both. We're gonna do one to unappropriate and then reappropriate
It's all in the same line.
the,
Yeah, she does an
Okay.
amount repealed in that line and then additionally appropriates from this fund. So it's a repealing from.
so we're gonna take it
1160.
out of 1169, 375,000, which is what we commonly budget for the CCMG, put it into 9646 so that he can access it and use the CCMG. That's on ordinance 2025-69 for the amount of $375,000. Entertain a motion to accept that.
motion to do that.
White's made a motion, Elizabeth's made a second. Any questions or comments regarding community crossing? All in favor? 5-0. We have letters for community crossing, so you're on.
What you
Thank
got
you.
next?
The only thing is,
So-
I'm gonna let you look at these and see if they're correct,
I think
or did you print?
these, I printed them off.
Okay.
These are correct.
If you got,
Okay.
we'll
And
just-
I know you sent me a couple times and I didn't. What you were saying as far
Well,
as,
I'm sorry.
I corrected it. You was
All right.
correct. I was.
What do we
I
have?
kind of thought, but I wanted to make sure.
These-
so
these
these
right
are
here.
the standard letters that allow him to
I'll pass these
enter
around.
into the
So-
CCMG.
Kind of the change here. Typically, CCMG that we applied for was in January. So the state kind of changed the way the game was played. and it was due in October this year. Next year is due in June, the 27th. This year was in October for some reason. So typically, this is the first year we've had to do financial commitments for CCNG. But I just made a line item for the commissioners and the council because, really, they're asking for money. It's not even appropriated yet. So,
Well,
totally.
what they're technically wanting is you have to submit a list of what you would use community crossing grants for with a dollar amount of what that costs. And then we would commit our county portion to that, saying that, yes, we agree with his list. The commissioners agree with his list. We all together, say we'll commit X amount of dollars to these programs in order for him to be able to apply for them now.
Is these two separate ones?
They are two separate ones. So one of
Two
those.
different totals, that's what.
Yeah, one of those are for approximately 20 miles of chip seal,
Okay,
and the other one's for Bridge 16 on Big Oak Road. The Bridge 16 is 625,000 and the 657,000 for the chip seal. And you probably noticed on there, one of the changes through CCMG this year through the state was if you're 55,000 people or less, it went down to 20% match.
Yeah.
So we won't use the full
Just like
375.
It looked like everything the same. I didn't see exactly what it was for on it.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
I'm sorry, go ahead. That should be an argument maker.
And we're gonna have to talk about wheel tax stuff at some point. I know nobody wants to hear the word tax, but in order to keep Kevin in this pool of community crossing grant monies, to some degree, my belief is you're gonna have to do it.
I did a lot of reading on it. So right now, we're not required to have a wheel tax to be eligible for CCMG. I think the only problem that I see coming forward is I figure there's 1,500 municipalities competing for a $100 million competitive grant. And you're talking about Scott County against Carmel, Greenfield,
Yeah,
cities.
My understanding is that if you read it the same way I did, is that you'll have access to a bigger pot of money if you have the wheel tax.
You will.
And it
There'll
won't be as competitive because you're not gonna be thrown
It'll
in.
be direct distribution. Yeah, it
Yeah.
won't be competitive. You can still apply for the CCMG
Yes,
regardless. Doesn't mean you're gonna get it.
But it's gonna be
Y'all
a
need to
lot.
see those. I've looked at them earlier.
It's kind of a change of the game.
Look, the other change with that is currently you have, let's say, 350 road miles. Adding a wheel tax changes you to lane miles, which at a bare minimum doubles
Correct.
your amount that you get to put in for. So having that at whatever percentage is decided, if it's decided at that time down the road, you almost, at bare minimum, you double your amount of miles that you can put in for.
I think it probably really needs to be addressed by next year at some point.
Yeah, I think we need to
Well,
have
I've
conversations
started-
maybe
yeah, I've
earlier in
started-
the year.
Trying to look at what's needed for that. We might need to get Baker Tilly on board, but especially because I don't know if you guys watch Floyd County, their attorney, I guess, didn't go to a municipal attorney and say, hey, is this right? And I mean, I'm sure that he looked at whatever another county had done, but the BMV came back and said that's not sufficient. So the wheel tax they were supposed to have in place next year is not, they're having to re-go through the process. So I've been in touch with Floyd County to make sure, hey, what needs to be done? Is this something that I feel like I can do because I've got the information now or not? But I think it's something you definitely need to start having discussions about if you're gonna do it. If not, then I won't waste the time drafting it. But I do think it's gonna get you a bigger pool
Of money.
of money that's not gonna be as
Options.
competitive, yeah.
On these letters, I guess I would entertain a motion to accept the letters as written by Kevin, that we all agree that we're gonna sign them. And then they would go to the commissioners and they would sign them. Just dedicating that we are willing to pay our matching portion for these projects.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Miller, a second by John Lizaby. All in favor of that? 5-0. And the only reason, normally I would say, I would like to see the commissioners, but they have a meeting tomorrow. If we don't, it's gonna get kicked back. So not that I'm trying to step on your all's toes. I think the logical thing is say the money's there, and then if you agree with the programs Kevin's put up, then we're good to go. Does that sound fair? The next three things up is, again, talking about the two highway funds and kind of changing the way that we've done business for several years. So on ordinance 70, 71, 72, we're going to talk about the same thing. We're going to talk about Kevin's highway funds, and we're going to unappropriate certain amounts and reappropriate them in other funds. The reason we're doing this is because for many, many years, and the phrase that I love so much is the way it's always been done, puts a stress on Jennifer kind of at the end of the year that they spend primarily out of one account. That runs that account significantly negative, I would say. And then they have to kind of decide what fits in what category, which really isn't her or Kinley or anybody in her office's job or responsibility, when that kind of would be more on Kevin to be able to see his accounts and know that he can spend certain things out of a restricted highway fund versus an unrestricted highway fund. So these three are very much in common. I will read them separately, but just understand all of them, 70, 71, 72, are removing amounts appropriated in Fund 1176 and appropriating them in a Fund 1173, which are the two that Kevin oversees. So the first up, ordinance 2025-70, unappropriating $628,334 and moving it to Fund 1173, $628,334. I would entertain a motion on number 70.
I'd like a motion on 70.
White's made the motion on 70, and John Lisby's going with the second on number 70. All in favor of 70? 5-0 on it. And I know it's a lot of paperwork, but I think moving forward, it's gonna be a lot easier on Jennifer, Kevin, all of us.
Long
everybody.
overdue, I think.
And I agree. And I'm glad to see that we're straightening it up and getting things
I
better.
wish other people felt that way. Which
Next
other
up,
department heads were? as-
2025-71, same thing, removing $59,797 from 1176, plugging $59,797 in 1173. I'd entertain a motion for that one.
Motion for that one.
White with the motion on that one, Elizabeth with the second.
We just gonna say
All in favor? You good on that? 5-0. 5-0. We'll get to them in a little bit. Next up, 72, 2025-72, sorry about that. Same thing, we're moving $958,359 from 1176 to 1173. Entertain a motion to accept on that. Collins beat you to that one. He's got a motion on that, and White will make the second. All in favor? 5-0. My watch seems to think I'm doing a lot more activity than I am.
What do you want to get?
What's up next? We got one more for Kevin.
I thought that was.
I think that's
He
it.
sent me one for a line creation and
I got
transfer
three.
some money,
I got
some
Ooh.
transfers and stuff.
I don't think I did anything on those. I can go make them real quick.
Yeah.
Do
if
you
I
have
possibly-
those, Heather? Did you make those?
I did not.
Okay, I did not.
I got
I have recorder, I
You
can
want me to get those? I can
share.
If we can,
Yeah.
I know one of
it.
them.
I mean, you
he
can pull
needs-
somebody else, like I said, tonight, he needs to.
He needs
keep moving.
pretty good.
I can get this real quick.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem.
One thing that I talked to the president of commissioners, Julian, earlier, there's on the agenda, it's the grant for the transfer station. There was some money donated for another compactor. There was gonna be a vote on using that right now, but there's some question about, additional funds needed to get that compactor up and running. So I think Mr. Julian agreed that we're just gonna table that for now. We'll bring it back up at a later date, maybe once they get some other things lined out there at the transfer station. The money is there, it's not going anywhere. Just for anybody watching, that donated money will stay for the same purpose. It's just gonna wait for a little bit, right?
It's still gonna go in the 4929 fund, right? And
Yes.
sit there
Yeah, it's just
until
gonna
it gets
sit there.
appropriated, right?
Correct. Yes.
Well, I mean, we still got to pay for has she, I'm sorry, has the auditor paid for the compactor yet?
Have we ordered it?
We had,
Oh, we have.
Finley, has that been paid yet?
I'll have to check, cut checks.
We
so I
might
mean, any additional appropriation, we don't need right now. But
on that, okay.
the fund that Morgan's gave us,
Uh-huh.
we should pay for the compactor.
Well, if we needed to pay for the compactor, it's not been appropriated yet. Out of that fund, we need to appropriate it. Which means we shouldn't be tabling this additional
I didn't know it
appropriation.
had been ordered. I thought
Well,
we
I
just
don't know.
had
I
the
think we're
motion.
talking about two different things. So the money that Morgan's gave us for the compactor, it needs to go out to pay for the compactor.
Mhm.
Any additional funds right now, as far as hooking it up and everything, honestly, I think we're probably gonna push that off till January.
So how much do you need appropriated out of that fund from the Morgan Food Funds to pay for the compactor?
This little amount, 60,000.
60,000. So you do need it. We're not gonna table that then.
Okay,
Okay.
never mind. I didn't know we'd already bought the thing.
Yeah, well, I think they're checking on it. So what do we wanna?
We received the check and it's in the fund.
No, he wants to know if the compactor has actually been purchased and paid for yet.
No, we haven't received.
How do we know? And you, so you do need this appropriated then?
We need you to appropriate that fund that Morgan's gave us.
Kenley, can you find me the additional appropriation ordinance for 4929 compactor fund donation, Morgan Food, 60,000?
So if it hasn't been appropriated to use, how do we already order it?
Because it was given to us by Morgan.
It
But
still has
until
to be
money is
appropriated.
appropriated, we
Yeah.
cannot buy things.
Yeah,
That's the problem we keep
so we can't,
running
that's
into.
the exact problem that got us into the situation,
Well,
so,
all
yeah.
of this. That's how we got to having to take out a bond because we get pushed in the corner and said, you're gonna buy this. And, oh, by the way, we already bought it. You just gotta figure out how to pay for it.
Okay, well,
Morgan said they were gonna donate the money.
That's fine, but
I get
until we
that,
have
but
the
it still has
money,
to be
the money is
appropriated.
appropriated, we
We've had the
can't.
money for a while now, guys.
That's fine, but I think what his point is that this body has to approve the appropriation of the money. You didn't have the money appropriated first. And that's where we get into trouble, because now we've ordered a compactor without an appropriation. We don't have this body has no choice but to appropriate it or get sued for ordering something that, we have to pay for. So I think that that's
Let me
over, the
go
overall
down this
issue.
rabbit hole real quick.
Are we on
So
71,
We
Kim?
got a quote for a compactor,
73.
right? And Morgan's gave us the
Oh, I
money
had that.
for that exact amount. So we could not sit there and wait and requote.
Oh, you
for the
could, because
compactor
that's what you're
up
supposed
in
to do.
price When Morgan's has already given us the money.
That's not how this works.
I understand that's how you don't.
No, that's not how the law works. The law says
Okay,
funds
here's the
have to be
question.
appropriated by
After
this
Morgan's gave
body.
us the money for the compactor, was you gonna say no?
I don't know, but I was never given a choice.
But
It's the same thing of buying
Morgan's-
cars and buying everything else.
Again, Morgan, and I get where this is going, but again, Morgan's paid for the compactor. This is not money that comes from the county. Now,
Okay,
I
wait,
understand
wait,
the
wait.
appropriate- I understand the
If they
appropriation.
paid, wait a minute, you just said they paid for the compactor. Is the compactor paid for or not?
They gave us the money to pay for the
Okay.
compactor.
That's something different then, because this would
I
send a check out to
understand.
the compactor people and then, but Morgan, you said Morgan's paid for it. So just to make sure they did not pay for it. They donated the money to the county
Yes,
for that purpose.
compactor, for
Yes.
that specific.
And Randy, Commissioner, I get where you're coming from, but trying to change the culture where we're getting into, and I'm not blaming you at all for last year's problems, but this body had to appropriate almost $1 million because someone went and spent money on personnel, overtime, all kinds of stuff, and then came here and said, oh, well, we got to pay it. So they had to appropriate. So changing the culture to, we don't just go out and order something until we are ensured we have the appropriation. We don't enter into contracts until we know we have the appropriation. I think that is,
So,
You're-
anyway.
We didn't order the compactor until we knew we had the money from Morgan.
Okay,
But it wasn't appropriate. I think that's the whole big thing.
Go
so we
ahead.
got to appropriate
The
money.
question now is, are we gonna appropriate?
Yes,
Is
so
that correct?
he's
That's-
got the
I mean,
order.
I understand,
yeah.
but we're not getting anywhere.
So, yeah, I agree with you. Additional ordinance for an addition, hold on.
At the same point in time, I
Hey,
can't let
hold on.
the price of the
Hold on,
compactor-
hold on. I don't interrupt your meeting. I'm asking you not to interrupt this one anymore. Anymore.
You asked me a
No,
question.
we're done. We're gonna vote on it.
You go for it.
Ordinance for an additional appropriation on 2025-73, and it is for a compactor fund donation by Morgan's for a compactor, $60,000. I'd entertain a
The money's in the
motion.
bank, correct?
It's in the
Yes,
fund.
it's in the fund, yes.
I make a
That
motion.
Miller has a motion, second by Lisenby. All in favor of it, signal with aye. 5-0. Done. All right. What else can I mark off?
Where you want to go next?
I don't know.
Across the street.
What about,
Okay, I'm going with you, John.
hey, Kinley, what about the probation, that additional appropriation for longevity? I skipped over it. We could probably do
It's
it.
gonna be 74.
Did you get the numbers you need on that one for the minutes? All right.
It should be out of that, general. For 6,000. Thank you, ma'am.
This one is what we had talked about. Our probation officers for quite a while have not gotten longevity in the county, and there's no real logical reason why. They fall into the, I guess, umbrella of the county ordinance that says any county employee after X amount of years would get paid out on longevity, and they just haven't. So we're making it right for the 2025 year. On 2025-74, ordinance for an additional appropriation from general fund in the amount of $6,000 to take care of that. I would entertain a motion to accept that. I think we talked about it at budget time with them. Excuse me, motion by Collins, second by Miller for $6,000. Any questions or comments? All in favor? 5-0 on that.
Do you wanna do the transfer station while Randy's here? Emily, you just pull whichever transfer station one you want.
Which Randy did call earlier and he went over a lot of this. I think there was a misconception that it was all lumped together based on Scales project, and that's not entirely true. Some of this is for different items other than just Scales. There's one additional appropriation that was advertised for Scales, but the others are other items.
This one's
I'll jump right back to them in just a second. The ordinance 2025-75 is from the general fund to the transfer station Scales in the amount of $19,149.77. Is that one truly for the Scales?
Which one?
The $19,149.77.
It's only scales, yes.
So it's only for the Scales project, which is at a total budget of, what did you say earlier, 140?
The total scale project was $145,366.69.
And that includes this 19,000. So that total is $145,000 on that Scales project.
It's done though, right now. It's done.
That's what I understand.
That's working.
Is it done, Commissioner?
Yeah, it's up and working and done. So
Actually, it's pretty nice. Don't throw that
I'll
in.
make the
without
motion.
seeing
I
it.
haven't been down.
I second it.
Collins has made a motion, second by Miller on the $19,149.77. All in favor of paying that to finalize that project. 5-0 on that.
Wait a minute, I thought it was written down somewhere.
Split it.
She said,
The 145, I thought that was already paid.
What?
The 145.
that's
No, that'll
including
be
this.
everything. That'll be in everything.
Yeah, that was the total inclusive price.
Yes.
Yeah, she said that includes this payment.
The additional here.
That's additional.
No, that includes this additional.
Oh,
When she makes that 19,000, that's gonna make it.
Yeah, that gets you to that number.
That should all be taken care of then by the end of the week.
The next one up, there was an advertising issue with this one that we fixed.
I'm sorry.
No,
was
that's fine. It was just, it kind of threw us off. One thing I questioned on it was the utilities was $11,200. That should be $1,200 in additionals. The disposal fees, we did transfer 28,000 of that out earlier in the year, but we need an additional of 100,000, which will get it to the end of the
I think
year.
that should get us to the end of the year. And part of what happened with that, when we started taking in Austin's trash before we had a scales. We told them just a set number on loads. After the scales have come in, that number was pretty low.
Pretty
So
low.
our disposal fees jumped
We're
quite a bit. We've paid 6 months so far. What we've paid so far for 6 months, we budgeted for like 13,000 a month, and it's been over 16,000 a month.
The 12,000 in equipment, what's that go to? Do we know? Because, and the
Is
reason
it
I
the
asked,
37?
yeah, 002.
Yes, that will go to any of the IDM funds, compactor related charges. That does not, we're using the 4,200 for the scales.
And I think that's the right one. Let me see if it'll load. Do we ever know why the 25,000 still shows in that equipment line?
Because we didn't have enough money to make the full payment on the scales.
And that's what that 19
Yes.
offset.
That'll
So
go
that'll
away
empty
at
it
the end
out.
of this week, yes.
Okay, all right. So this
We
just
didn't make a partial payment on it. We went ahead and wanted to wait for
to
our.
get that
it's-
additional.
It's easier for our.
Okay. So the equipment is actually the remainder of the IDM repairs that we had to do to get out of that contract, or,
Yeah.
whatever, that mess.
Yeah.
We got that done and this finalizes that. So to your knowledge or your belief, the 113,000 $288.67 takes care of the transfer station for the remainder of
I
25.
believe it should. And like I said, our transfer fees, it's a little, or not transfer, our disposal fees, they're a little bit, but they've been running in the low 20s.
Okay.
But it depends, how many people have been there,
Right.
so.
Who use it? So on ordinance 2025-76, the change from 123,000 that was advertised to 113,288.67 is the total on it. Need a motion if we wish to accept on that one.
I'll take that motion.
Collins made a motion.
I'll second it.
White's made the second for the total amount of 113,288.67. All in favor of that? 5-0 on that.
And could I just ask something?
Sure.
Heather and I were talking about this. When I advertised, I changed the budget that you had for 2026 in the 1,000 fund. When I sent that to the state advertisement, I changed to that 96, I think the number's 9646, the new fund. So that's gonna budget, everything that was budgeted from general for 26 will come out of this fund. But I almost feel like, and right now, anything will come in, any of the collections from the transfer station, the payments from Austin, well, we've made two mistakes, and that's something I'll have to say here in a minute, because when Mandy got the first two payments from Austin, she didn't realize they went to the transfer station, so we've got a correction here that needs to be made from it's all in the general fund, but it'll go from just general fund miscellaneous to general fund transfer station. We'll need to move that in there. Do you want me, like in November and December, to start putting the receipts that we get from the transfer station into the 9646 fund to give them a start for, because they've got their own bank account, we can give them a start for that starting November 1st, so that at the January 1st, they'll have some money in that fund to pay bills.
Is it 4929? Is it that one? Transfer station
just-
fund?
We just did the Morgan Foods one out of the back too.
I just don't. I don't-
4929 compactor
49.
fund.
Okay, I just said the wrong.
No,
one,
you're
sorry.
fine. I just don't wanna
Yeah.
say the
That should
wrong
be the
thing.
transfer station. You have compactor fund on there, but it's transfer station or fund, right? It's the one that was just created specifically for that
For
budget
the transfer station.
and for it to stand up on its own. Gotcha.
I mean, I think we're gonna have to do something because otherwise you're gonna have to budget money to get them
We're
going.
gonna have to do something to get some money in
But
there,
there's
so I would
nothing-
like to.
There's
for
nothing
whatever-
in there right now.
Well, there's 60,000 in there now where we've deposited a check from Morgan Foods for a compactor that they want to
Well,
purchase.
Commissioner, you
where does it
created
show?
that fund. What,
Where
did
does
you
it show? It
create
just
that
shows
fund
zero.
last month
Let me back up. Maybe I did
for the
something.
transfer station
I
receipts
might
and
have did something.
disbursements?
Ledgers,
For the
cash
transfer
ledger.
station, what?
Fund, the transfer station
That
fund
one.
Go back
for the
in
receipts
look
and
at- Look and see
disbursements.
if there is a 9646.
The bank
And
account?
see if they put it in as a,
The fund, yeah.
Yeah, that, I think they.
So last
this-
month,
Now this week got that open.
well, I don't care about,
CCMG.
it doesn't matter about a bank
That
account.
shows
It matters when the
CCMG
fund was
for
created.
Kevin.
okay, then I'm looking for, oh, well, that was the number, that's why that number's sticking in my head. 'cause it
Yeah.
just looked that
2
way.
meetings ago?
I don't know, there was a
I
check that
think
should have
that-
been deposited, so I'll have to
Okay.
check it
And I
now.
think,
I think
Kinley,
it
make sure I'm right.
Sure.
Everything's moved over, location, transfer station, that's 9614.
Do you,
Maybe I need to go
Hey, or put it in zero, put,
put
yeah.
everything there.
Yeah.
Let's
do
see
you
what we
have the
got.
fund creation ordinance I can look at real quick? Because I think that if they created the fund 2 meetings ago and the fund's purpose was to take in
Still showing
receipts,
all
that all
zero.
receipts should be going in there from that point forward. It just depends how the ordinance is worded.
Which, I mean,
Well, the fund didn't, okay. But the
We-
fund, I don't think that.
I mean, we can
the bank-
I don't care about when the
cross
bank
that
account was
bridge,
open.
I think, but
And
I
I think
agree.
that's where our disconnect is, and we can talk, let's talk about it
I
after
think
the
we're gonna have
meeting.
to do something or they have
Because I think
nothing
that's
to
where our
start.
disconnect is. I don't care about that.
You got November, December, that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
give them 2 months of what's going in there.
It would at least cover January, February.
That's what I'm
It's
thinking.
gonna sink or swim at that point.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on transfer station? Kinley's gonna look for that.
I don't
thing.
think we have any
That's it.
transfers,
All
right?
right.
Well, yes. There was one, it was the commissioners, it's for their pay. Hold on.
I don't have any transfers to them. I
Oh, yeah,
have
Well, we
the,
did that, that's
We
one I
talked
did
about
just
it in that
before the
joint.
meeting. Hang on.
That night. There's only 80
for mine.
No, there's only $80 in there to pay people.
Oh.
I think we were gonna.
Where, I thought we were transferring for, put my attorneys too for us a year.
Do we
I don't
get-
see that one. Oh, I had it, but I don't see it.
Okay, it's right here. We were taking $6,480 from Stone Barrel and Setting.
Yeah.
Commissioners to
Yeah,
the transfer
we
station.
talked about that in that
employees.
joint meeting.
And then if
Pay
you wanna
that,
do this
please.
one next, this is one, it'll be 8,000 from repairs and maintenance, which we had moved,
Oh, no, that's not right.
is it 12,000, 15,000?
Which fund? Or-
It came from the commissioners, it was for paving out of the IDM for the.
Oh, yeah, we moved it 12,000, they used like 5, and we talked about the other using for that
Oh,
vote
yeah.
on your,
I was gonna say, we've got 8,000.
hold on to that one for a second,
Okay, yeah.
we'll talk about it, I wanna get Kevin out of here, but
They said that we could use their extra attorney fee line to move over to mine, the 10,000,
Well,
and I didn't see I thought
I
I saw
didn't
it,
make
but I
that, I
don't.
didn't, you made that one, I didn't know that.
I thought I had that here.
so this
You
one,
made that one.
this one that's up is 2025-9 on a resolution to transfer within the Scott County Board of Commissioners, $6,480 from burial and stone setting to the transfer station manager to pay the employees out there. I was gonna ask you, in regards to the cemetery board, you feel okay with transferring that? It leaves like 1,400 in that line
Yeah,
if you were to come across something for the next couple of months.
that was put in there before you got this program
Yes.
going in the past. And,
Okay, this is the one for the
my knowledge hadn't
office
used it.
supply.
Not much. It used like $600 of it.
There'll be how much left over?
1,400 for the rest of this year. Get you by till January. So I would entertain a motion to move to pay the guys out of the transfer
I'll
station.
make that
Jonathan
motion.
Abbott did send me an email about that, and I have not answered him yet, but I will.
That's
So I want to see what it could be used for.
Oh, yeah.
So Miller made a
I'm
motion.
sorry.
You're good. White with the second. All in favor,
What's that number there?
Oh, okay.
5-0 on that number 9, 2025-9 resolution.
I was more concerned about the mowing than I was the rest of it, so.
Wait a minute,
Foreign transfer,
say that number, 2025 R?
Transfer resolution R 2025-9.
No,
I can only read
oh,
what's.
is it
Wait a
19?
minute, I don't think that's right, because we started it,
Oh, it should be
13.
9, it should be 19, sorry.
19, all right.
sorry.
1-9
So it should
for
be
the
20.
record, 1-9.
20. I can't read my own writing.
Yeah.
Now, was that a 5-0?
Yes, ma'am. All right. All right. Let's jump back to Kevin so we can get him out of here real quick.
Okay.
No,
Have
you're
those
fine.
transfers.
Here they are.
I know. Sorry, Kevin.
Well, we're gonna
We
be out
know
of
we're
numbers.
entertaining, but.
We're gonna be out of numbers. 'cause
Not that-
or unless
Not
you-
that entertaining.
No, just they look at the videos later, it ain't entertaining.
It's 22.
Yeah.
Like, we can just like look at the inside.
Yeah, or put it in there.
It's so
Oh, these are the requests behind it.
Hey, John Lisby, will you remind me whenever we get back to talking budgets? That may be a line that we need to look at moving to your cemetery board so that you guys can use that easier or more available to fix up some issues that we have in the year moving forward.
There's gonna be a lot of complaints on that, but.
Yeah, I know, but still to have it, it doesn't,
I would appreciate
it
it.
doesn't make a lot of sense to have it in a completely separate budget if we now have their own. I think we need to just transfer that over.
That would make more sense.
I'm gonna skip 20 and 21. We'll come back to that in a minute because Randy needs to talk about the one on the auction thing and get back to Kevin. He's got transfer from the Scott County Highway Department on Resolution 2025-22 for $80,000 from the Bridge 28 line to repair and maintenance line. Entertain a motion to accept that one.
I'll make the motion.
Collins with a motion.
Second.
Elizabeth beat you to the second. All in favor?
I think he watches his money pretty close.
I think it's gonna get even better. This next one up is a transfer for the Scott County Highway Department, Resolution 2025-23, $5,000 from the deferred comp line to the building materials line. Motion to accept
Explain that again.
from deferred comp line to building materials line in the 1176 fund, which is used for,
We have any idea what that's about?
Yeah, we're gonna buy a heater with it, a hanging gas heater. So the deferred comp line that we're pulling it out of, it's not gonna be used
Okay.
this year. So we just transferred it left over to line by the heater.
Makes sense.
motion to keep them warm.
I'll make that motion.
Everybody.
No, you gotta freeze.
I'll third
So Lisby with the motion, White with the second.
White with the second?
Yeah.
Okay.
All in favor? Everybody wants you all warm for some reason, Kevin.
it.
He said good deal.
We need a road cleared.
All right,
If the
the,
auditor snowed in, leave her.
leave her alone.
Okay?
The next one up, it truly doesn't have anything to directly do with me, but in the effort of transparency, which I fully like, I sold a piece of equipment at my Monday through Friday normal job to Wilson Equipment Company. I traded it and contacted the salesman and Kevin and told him I traded this piece of equipment. It's a good piece of equipment still. It just was at its end of life for what we use there. And Kevin's asking to transfer $42,000 from the paving line to the 1176 equipment purchase line in order to purchase this piece of equipment. It's a Cat rubber tired loader that they've looked at, they've determined it would fit their needs, but for the record, I wish to abstain from this vote.
And you have no interest in
And
that.
I have no
property, right?
interest in that
It
whatsoever.
belongs to
I'll
a
make
city.
that motion.
That's
I'll
what
second it.
I'm
So,
Yes, not at all.
I'm okay. If you think it's a good
Yeah,
idea.
real quick before we do
There
this,
you go, John.
because this is gonna be two-part for you.
I hear that.
I got transferring this money out of the paving line, and basically I'm asking to do that so I can keep the ball rolling. Kind of told Wilson Equipment, hey, we'll take it. But I'm gonna come back in here in November and ask you for additional appropriation back in that line, because I got roads that I just gotta have the money for. If that's a problem, I'm just gonna ask you to vote no.
Well, you have the money. You
I
just
have
need to
it.
move it.
I have the money, so basically I'm asking you,
This is the quickest way you can pay him and get it.
it's the quickest way I can get the money in the right spot, pay the bill, but I'm gonna come back and ask you for it back, because
It's fair enough.
we got payment to still do yet. We got probably at least 1,000 more ton to put down.
That's coming out of
You're happy with that piece of equipment.
Yeah, I think that piece of equipment, like if that was sitting at Bingham's auction, I wouldn't be in here talking to you about it. But coming from another municipality, knowing people that's ran it, say, hey, I think this, you never know, it's a piece of equipment, right?
And
But
you-
as far as buying a used piece of equipment, I think it's a good piece of equipment.
I'll make that motion.
Miller's made a motion on it.
John seconded it.
Collins has made a second. All in favor of it?
John,
You in
I'm
favor?
in. I'm
That's
in.
4, and then we
Your
write,
attorney was confusing me. over
write
there.
me as abstain on that one, please.
Well, you know. Request.
That helps when you're
Yeah.
honest
yeah.
and upfront like that.
That's-
So we-
Is that all for highway?
Yeah,
Of course, I
yeah,
know.
but no,
I think it is.
We're gonna need
Unless
it.
I missed something else.
Did you get rid of
I
your
think-
military?
No, we still have that military there. And then
It
that,
don't weigh as much, it don't raise as high, does it?
no, it don't, it won't even load the truck.
That's what I said.
Unfortunately, it's a good lift, but it doesn't load.
And
That's why I
you
said
don't,
when they did
he
send-
doesn't currently,
Here, those weren't paper clips.
in total transparency, it has some mechanical issue that I talked to him about. He feels like he can fix it much cheaper than purchasing a new
Oh,
one.
absolutely.
And it comes with a set of forks that he doesn't have that capability with right now that he
He's
can
still got the two
change in
commissioners.
between of.
Okay.
The municipality I work for didn't think it was worthy of putting that much money into that piece of equipment because it's at its end of life for them. So
Because they can afford to.
I don't know about a Ford, but can find a way.
I'm gonna grab my paper back and have you guys sign it, because
Yep.
I need to get this done this week.
I
Should
agree.
be right on top.
If you want to
Oh,
pass them around, they can sign them. All right. Well, you're all signing.
You want me to keep those and just put it in the commissioner folder for tomorrow night?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I gotta have it signed and then, that'd be great. Yeah, stick it in there and then we'll do that.
If I do these two, can we be done with Randy?
And the transfer, sorry about that. I think I might have put those in the, additionals PDF.
Well, I mean, he
instead of
might say-
these.
Yeah, but I'm saying that.
I think that's,
I think I had it in the
that's all I
PDF.
have.
Pass them down to
I'm gonna, while you're all doing that,
Oh,
I'm
we do
gonna
have this. on
back up
commissioners.
21 and 20 that we skipped over. Thanks, Kevin. Resolution 2025-21 is transferring some money from an additional attorney fee from the commissioners to our budget for our attorney, since we use a lot of funding in the budget and other stuff. We have the money. It's a simple transfer of $10,000. entertain a motion to transfer that money within the general
Repeat it
fund.
again, please.
Transferring from the additional attorney fee line to the council attorney fee
In
line.
my 25 years of
Okay.
practice, this is the only time I've ever went over budget. And I think it's because not only the budget session, but because of the litigation also.
Okay, I was
So-
doing this.
Sorry.
Miller with the motion, you're good.
I'll
And
hang my head
Collins
and
with the
shut
second. All in favor of that one? 5-0.
I'll hang my head in shame.
We appreciate your efforts of keeping us on track.
I'm sure.
The 2025-20 resolution is the one we talked about in the joint meeting. And I think this is the one you want to talk about, Randy. It's transferring $8,000 from repairs and maintenance to office supplies, which would move money around and give them the ability, I think with maybe a couple of you guys that are planning to go to an auction. Is it this Sunday?
26th.
Next Sunday.
Oh, it's city auction.
Next Sunday at City Hall.
The repairs and maintenance, what was that?
That was what we did for your paving that you needed.
Repairs and maintenance.
It's in the commissioner budget, both of these.
That was moved from,
It was moved from somewhere. Remember,
Legal murder
we had to move it
fees,
to,
something.
so that you
Yeah,
could
I
do the
remember,
payment.
I couldn't remember, I didn't know if it came out of Eric's line.
No.
No.
So we moved from the legal murder
I
trial
think it was-
fees,
yeah.
12,000 to repairs and maintenance to allow you that asphalt. You only use 5,000 leaving, or 4,000 or whatever, leaving 8,000 in that line. Now we're gonna move it from there to office supplies, which would allow you and whoever goes to do that bidding. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Motion to move that. Miller, second by Lisenby, all in favor? 5-0. All right, we are an hour and 40 minutes in. Why don't we take a little break, let everybody run to the restroom? If you want to start on some of the signing, we can, and then we'll come right back.
I'm gonna mute this then.
All right.
Thank you.
All by ourselves.
You are unmuted.
All right, so we're back on the record after a short bathroom break. And I think we're gonna knock out the rest of the transfers and then we'll move on to,
Hang on, I'll.
sheriff's department stuff, so.
We've been through it today, haven't we?
But look at us, we're all smiling. John,
That's right, we're not.
Elizabeth's happy. He said he was earlier. You still happy?
I'm happy.
All right, that's all that matters to me.
Don't worry.
Here's one.
I just gotta keep all my Johns happy tonight. That's all it's here. All of them. All right. On the transfers, and next one up is resolution 2025-25. And it is for the Scott County prosecutor. They requested funds be transferred within their budget of the amount of $200 from notices to memberships. I'll entertain a motion to accept that.
I'd make a motion to accept.
I'll say,
White with a motion, Elizabeth with a second, all in favor? 5-0.
Next one, Jen.
You want to pass that around? so we can
Hang on
sign
just a minute. Do this.
Okay, we're gonna sign it and then I'll pass it back to you. 26. Next up is for the Scott County IT department. And Andrew did say he couldn't be here tonight, but if we have questions, I can call or text him. Resolution 2025-26 is transferring $1,500 from equipment to software line. And if you want questions, I can call Andrew. If you don't, I'll entertain a motion to transfer
I'd make a
$1,500.
Motion to transfer $1,500 for Andrew.
White motion, second Elizabeth, all in favor? You in or out on that one? You in? You're seconded, you're in. 5-0.
sign another one.
Next.
Over here.
No, sorry. Y'all messing up my rotation here. The recorder's office asked to transfer from part-time deputy to part-time admin in the amount of, different amount. The email was $178.05.
Where are all the ones you just signed?
Over there.
This one's $89.03.
That's the last one.
That sounds
We're
right.
passing it back here.
Let me look here.
You want?
I think we'll change those things.
Well, here's another one for 10,000. That's a sheriff's department, sorry. The one I have
I
is,
just don't know which is right. I don't want to short
Let
her.
me go.
Give it to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Oh.
good job.
What's that?
no,
Do you
I
want,
gotta-
just double check the email, make sure I'm not losing my mind, Jennifer. I might be.
Lots of absent on the-
Oh,
no, I'm not a member of the council. I don't sign off
You
on it.
just
I
write
just,
the
I
act.
just write the secretarial stuff in
okay, you're good, Elizabeth.
there.
Works for extra 10 grand, right?
So I'm already embarrassed now.
Hey,
I got it.
Kinley,
Now, anybody want this? I'm gonna throw it over in the file.
if what
Did you
I,
sign it?
what I
They
put
all
down
sign
is
it.
correct, which I think
That's
it
what
was,
they're
it was
doing.
late at night when I did this, but the email, I think, said she wanted to go from part-time deputy, which is the 11,908, to part-time admin, 11,907 for 178.05. But on here, we got it from 11,907 to 11,908. I think we're just maybe backwards.
I'll ask her for that.
We're talking of the transfer.
You want this paper?
Let's hold 28.
That way, I'm sorry. I don't want shorter because she said that one was for payroll. So that was the recorder.
Let's go to the next one. You ready?
Pay me the next resolution on her stack there. What we got?
I think the rest is sheriff, isn't it?
The sheriff's got two, so this would be 29 and this would be,
I feel like it's hot in here again. Is it just me?
I'm fine. I think it's just you.
All right. The resolution to transfer within the major budget classifications for the Scott County Sheriff's Department, asking for $25,000 from a full-time deputy to the overtime for a deputy. Any questions, comments, motion?
Didn't know anything about it, just that's when we
That's all I know.
transferred the.
I do know he had a couple full-time deputies leave. So I'm assuming, which we all know what that means, they had to work some overtime probably to cover the shortfalls
We
of
got
a
the-
couple of people moving. It is a transfer within his budget.
Yeah, I'm good.
I second it.
So we're gonna call Elizabeth with a motion, Miller with a second. All in favor? 5-0.
No, not you, Heather. Yes.
29.
So she has two separate emails, one for the 89 and the other one for the 178.
Okay.
So she's gonna make another resolution.
Okay. You want to set them there? We'll get the other one, we'll do them together. Does that sound good?
Okay.
That way we keep that together.
There you go.
On,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
let me know when you want to jot something down, Kinley. On resolution 2025-29, there was a motion by Miller, a second by Elizabeth that carried 5-0.
That was actually.
Stop sign.
And what was
second
it
it.
for?
I'm sorry, I'm backwards. Elizabeth a motion, Miller a second. Motion carried 5-0, and it was for the sheriff's department transferring 25,000 from deputy line to overtime.
It was resolution 2025-29.
Next up is resolution 2025-30 for the Scott County Sheriff's Department, asking to move $10,000 within the 1170 fund from part-time deputy to overtime for a deputy. Again, I have to assume they've worked some overtime. They need 10,000. We moved 25, so this would make it a total of 35,000 to overtime for a deputy.
It's transferred from me.
I
I
agree.
make a motion for the transfer.
White's got a motion for the transfer, a second by Elizabeth. All in favor of transferring? 5-0 on that as well, Carrie. You good on that one?
That's it this way.
Here's one for the recorder that was sent.
Set it
on
right
that
there. I'm gonna
12.
keep them together and come right back to them. Yeah, that's the other one.
All right.
So this will be,
Here.
we
I
do
don't think he
29.
wanted to wait on that one, did he? I don't know.
Yeah, I jumped to the sheriff's department. I just didn't want to mix up paperwork on us. On this one,
That's just
Jennifer,
an error.
Okay,
Is it
we
the
just
sale?
need to cancel that
that
one.
was that the 35,000? Yes, and
Because
what
that
it
was
was,
the transfer.
I don't know, I jumped the gun and thought we needed to
That's
do
fine.
that, but went to general, it did not.
Okay.
It just moved out of two funds, and so you got transfers. so-
Got you. We did those. So
Yes.
this one, we don't need to do
That's an
anything with,
additional
right?
appropriation for the sheriff for 35.
No,
not.
it's not.
It's
It
not.
was
We're
a
not doing it
mistake.
though, is
Yeah.
what I'm
No, yeah. You got that resolution, but it was incorrect, because it should have been a
saying. It was
transfer.
the
Alright,
sheriff over.
Void. All right.
I guess back to 28, is that
They
what
were
we're
all
doing,
there,
recorder? What?
Gave her all of
This one goes back to Jennifer. sorry.
it. Go through secretary thing.
Dock her pay over here. All right, do you want me to do those recorder ones real
Yeah,
quick?
here we go.
Sorry, I must have missed that one email.
I didn't
I chose to
see.
sit on
Well,
the
I'm-
side.
Either way, I had one.
You need to sign that
One
one.
came through 926.
So I had
So
one,
that
you
one's
had the other.
28 and this one's
Look at that,
29.
we're a team. All right, resolution 2025-28 for the recorder's office to transfer within her budget $89.03.
We've got a 220, what now?
One should be 27, one should be 28.
Yeah.
One should be 28 and one should be 31. Because you,
Stand by.
no, I do not have a 27. We'll label the next one 27 if you want to, but I don't have a 20. There was a 27, but I think it was one Jennifer printed. I don't have a copy, but I'll look for it. If not, we'll just use it another time or we'll just skip over that one. Go ahead.
So we're going with 28?
Yep.
All in favor of 20?
So we all
Resolution 2025-28 is gonna be for moving from part-time deputy to part-time project deputy, $89.03 for the Scott County Recorder's Office. Entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to transfer it.
I beat you to it.
Elizabeth beat you to it. White with the second. Elizabeth with the motion, White with the second. All in favor? 5-0 on that. You good on that one, Kinley? Or Jennifer or whoever? All right, next one up for the recorder's office as well, resolution 2025-31. And it is to move from part-time deputy to part-time project deputy in the amount of $178.05.
I'll make the motion.
White with the motion,
Let somebody else do it.
Collins with the second. All in favor? 5-0.
Jennifer, is that all the resolutions that you have?
No, I've got a jail one here,
I got it, yeah, I have a jail too. That's what I was wondering.
50,000 from 1170, 11/1400 to 11/70, 1201.
Okay, I'm gonna name that one,
27.
27.
You good with that, Kimmy?
Is that,
I need it,
I thought I seen you start typing, but I was making sure.
here you go.
because I cannot find it.
All right. The Scott County Jail transfer within the budget classifications from jail part-time to jail overtime within the 1170 fund, $50,000. $50,000 from part-time to jail overtime.
And like you said, I assume they had people that had to pay the overtime.
I mean, my take on it is whenever we entered into the agreement, I made a statement that I would work with him and any transfers that he needed, and my vote will be to transfer whatever the sheriff needs within his budget.
I make a motion.
I agree with that.
I'd say,
Collins made a motion, White has made the second, all in favor, 5-0. I think that's a good faith move that he's working within his
Yeah.
budget.
Yeah.
Have we already moved, I've got one here, it might be extra, 83462, for the Scott Superior Court.
Yeah, we
Yes,
did that.
we did that when
First
the amount
thing.
was in here.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want to do contracts or do you, oh, well, that's not a contract. You want to do additionals? Kenley, I show we're on 77 for ordinances, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, John Watt.
I guess I better check myself since I skipped the resolution number.
All right, so we're gonna start with the additionals for,
Do you want to do the sheriff next?
sure,
Okay.
whatever you want.
Okay, we've got general fund jail, we got 50,000 that we're putting into, jail overtime, 11,400. And we're unappropriating 50,000 from 1170 for that.
Is that on top of the 50 we just transferred? Dang, 100.
You want to take it at 1170, remind me, is that public safety or is it special purpose?
1170 is
1170.
public safety.
Public safety.
So you want to take it out of public safety and put it out of the general fund?
We have that in the, why would we take it out of the
Let me
lit
see.
and move it to the general? Wouldn't we come,
She's gonna pay you that, either account, you shouldn't have to take it out, that's sort of.
cause we moved 50,000 from part-time to overtime on that one within 1170.
Yeah.
Now we're taking it more out of part-time.
Okay, because this is from 7/22/25, and he had asked for $50,000 from line, and he had 1140, or 1114, but his jail part-time was in 1170, and he asked us to move it to general jail overtime. Let me look here.
I just
Oh, three.
want to be careful with the general, because that could be used for anything where.
Well, we're 25,000 negative, and this was run on 9/22. 25,000 negative in the 1,000 overtime. And that's in the county general jail overtime.
I see. I've got a mess here.
This makes some sense.
And then we do have 1170, 1201 overtime budgeted for the jail in general. We had 10,000, we took out 20, and I'll put in the 50.
I don't understand how we can be negative in something.
No.
Well, what it was, we had it in there, and then we adjusted it back out.
So So
Because we appropriated his agreed judgment under public safety, maybe?
Yeah, that's what it would have been.
So why can we not pay? I don't understand.
okay. So we're paying the jail overtime out of what?
You've got jail overtime, we've got it in,
Well, this is jail part-time, the repeal and appropriate request is for.
Because jail part-time in general, I'm showing is $5,600 negative right now, and jail overtime being $32,899.98, so 33,000 negative in county general.
okay, we have got jail overtime in two different places,
I see that, which is weird because
you know.
I'm wondering if it's because
I think we
during,
also have
So you do the
jail,
same thing like he does his budgets, but in different lines, see what you.
but we have jail part-time. in
No,
two
I
different
think-
I think
places,
this
too.
was all done during our quarter budget and our
Yeah,
agreed
I
orders.
no, I don't think, I think what happened is that when we appropriated for those orders that the judge ordered us to pay so much overtime and stuff, I think if we go back, that was probably out of the general fund. And then when we appropriated the rest of his budget, it was out of the appropriate lines, the lit lines.
So
So I don't understand.
in reading
There
this.
shouldn't be a negative, I guess is my whole thing. There should never be a negative. It should be, I'm sorry, we don't have any money in that fund. We're either gonna have to use another fund or your
Which I think
money's
is-
not getting paid.
I think it's like Jennifer's
I don't
saying
know
though, like
where we're
we're
at, though.
paying out of two different funds, which is
Correct.
where it's getting confusing.
Because I think if you go back through the appropriations for those orders that Judge Glickfield entered, there were two orders. I think that we appropriated those out of general. But I think
So
when we
in-
went through and said, okay, here's what we have left to budget to meet that 4.49 agreed judgment in the end, the remainder of that came out of the lit funds because that's where they need to be.
So do you guys feel like his location budget is current in Lao? Because if so, then this would partially make sense because in 1170, which is lit public safety,
Mhm.
you got part-time showing 218,255 and some change, which is the second line down
Mhm.
there. So if we took,
You have to remember, he just moved 10,000 from part-time deputy to overtime in 1170, right?
yeah, but there's plenty there.
Okay.
I mean, that's the unexpended balance of 218. I'm gonna scroll up, Kenley. I know you're looking. I don't want to mess you up. But if we go back to the top, county general is showing the part-time as negative 5,628.56. My question is, why wouldn't we just move the negative portion and zero that line out from the 1170 and then leave you with what's in 1170 to work with for payroll?
No, I mean, there's a couple things that need cleaned up, we just need to get.
But I think if we move,
resolutions made.
but I think if we move 50,000 up there, you're gonna be in that part-time line to general, you're gonna be like way over when you already have it.
And then that's gonna leave the 1170 short at some point.
Here's the.
So why don't we just unappropriate the 56, is that 5,600 and
Yeah.
reappropriate and
Oh, they've got the
appropriate?
ordinance down there.
It's right here. Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
So the ordinance is moving from part-time. to
1170.
Mhm.
No, that's part-time to part-time. 1170 to general.
Oh, it should have been, I think. Oh, yeah, it went part-time to overtime.
You're talking about the
To the
transfer?
overtime line,
Yeah, to cover that. the
32,000.
-32, And then he wants a little extra to get him through the year.
so, and we're gonna,
Wait a minute, you're telling us that this is a request for additional, this is a,
no.
No,
this
he's
is
moving
unappropriated
It
reappropriated.
From 11.
Yeah, we're unappropriated reappropriated, so that's not an additional request, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
it's additional in that we're taking from one fund and
Mhm.
moving to another.
That's why it isn't 32, he wants 50. 'cause he
So
thinks
what do we do with that other negative in part-time? Do we,
We'll need to do a transfer
Yeah.
correction.
of it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it
So
probably.
he's asking for 50, but 33 of it's already gone.
Mhm.
So that's gonna leave 20, too late in math, 27-ish is what he's wanting extra.
Yeah, he said that'll get him through the year.
Okay. Everybody good with that? And we're gonna pay jail overtime out of county general?
I'm not even clear.
Are we-
what you're doing.
One more question. Are we allowed to move 1170 tax money to general fund?
We're not moving it. What we're doing is we're saying the money, the 50,000 we've already appropriated in 1170 is now unappropriated.
But now we have to spend it out of the.
But now you have to spend it out of general. You're not moving any money. What you're doing is
Same amount of
saying.
money, just different funds.
But we have that line in 1170, so couldn't we leave it in using 1170?
But then what are you gonna do with the 32,000
It's a
you're?
wash between, but it is out of this fund. It adds it back to this
The fund's already
fund.
there.
Here's the deal. I think we've only got 39,000 extra, if I'm not mistaken, in the 1170 at the end of the year.
I think the concern though becomes these lit funds, the special purpose and the public safety can only be used for certain things.
Mhm.
Whereas the general fund, we're taking
We could use it
50,000
for
out of
anything.
general fund, it's taking 50,000 away from every department, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Every
So would
department can
it
use
make
the
more
general.
sense to just pay that negative and then move whatever else to his overtime within lit public safety and then utilize the lit
From
funds?
like now on, pay overtime.
Out of lit?
70.
Cause that money's already allocated. I mean, you do the transfer of the $33,000 to clear up the
You're not
negative.
gonna transfer, it,
Or
but
the,
you have to
the
transfer.
unappropriate, reappropriate.
So just what you need is what you're saying.
Would that make more sense? Cause then you're utilizing lit money instead of general fund money.
Cause it's already appropriated too out of the public safety. So that would make ordinance 2025-77 what?
There's a
Or
mark.
clear as mud. Are you catching up though, honestly?
Overtime
somewhat.
always.
I mean,
Well, there
he's
won't be
asking to
after
take
that. Because right now.
unappropriate lit money
We'll just
and
leave it
use
all
general
there.
fund money
And if we
instead.
appropriate just part of it,
I don't,
whatever it's gonna take to make that.
because general,
She's negative in the general fund line, so we gotta have
We
to
have to
do that
use
for
some.
at least what she's negative.
at least 33,000.
Well, again,
But then he wants some overtime for the rest of the year, which could be done on a simple transfer within 1170.
yeah, we could probably do that, yeah.
Is that going to drive this past?
No. 4.49? No.
We're unappropriating in one place to take it out of another to shore up that, to make that
I mean, is that
zero.
okay?
He's not getting
Because I
any
just think
more.
that would use,
The only thing that,
Taking
It would-
from,
are you comfortable, because I'm sitting here, I'm a little bit uncomfortable, will we have enough money in 1170 to cover?
you don't have to tell me what
That
you
doesn't
think.
make us
I know what you
negative
think.
at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
he's asking to come.
Okay.
And for me, Kinley, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's asking to come out of this part-time line that has 218,000 in it anyway.
Right.
So I think you would be fine because that is allocated. You're not using any
Anything
additional
extra.
money.
Okay, yeah.
It's just moving it around, but it would keep from spending general fund that can go to the whole county and keep it public safety. Does that make sense?
Absolutely not, let's do it.
Let me use your number, because mine, I printed mine on 9/22, and it's showing 25,048.38.
How did that happen?
What's up here is 32,899.98, and that would clear out your negative.
Say it again, Jared.
$32,899.98.
So this needs to be crossed out, it's
Yeah.
like 39.
Which one are you looking at?
The
Kim?
numbers are 32,899.
Well, it sounded to me like we're gonna do this, we're just trying to figure out the best method, is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to use lit public safety funds instead of general funds.
Yeah.
Because you can only use lit for a handful of things, whereas we could use the other 20 grand in funding they're asking to spend general to whoever else.
So do you need another resolution for the difference between that and 50,000?
Probably do, don't you think? To put it in,
Yeah.
1170 1170 overtime.
Yeah,
So,
so we'll need to go from, that will clear that up. So then, well, actually,
it'll just.
Actually, that'd just be a transfer.
it's a transfer. I think we've got a resolution in here. Maybe we can just change the amounts on it too.
To move it to jail overtime from jail part-time.
Let me look here real quick.
Cause that's what we did with 50 though, right? On this one that we just did a
That's
transfer.
part-time deputy,
Oh,
part-time
we probably
deputy.
just did that one, didn't
Kinley,
we?
what's this?
Jail
one right here?
part-time to jail overtime was 27. We moved 50,000.
Yeah.
So do you wanna do 20 more Or do you wanna let this ride and see where we're
Why
at
don't we
in
just go make
November?
another one?
I don't know. You tell me. Cause if we move 50 to here, do we do the rest in November if you need more, or do you wanna do the other 20?
I would see where you're at after.
I mean, you just put 50
Well,
in
that'll
that
clear
line.
up the negatives.
This will
Yeah,
clear
let's
the
just leave-
negative.
Yeah, let's just leave that.
And that'll put 50 in that line you're talking about.
Yes.
And then
Do you
that'll give
believe
you,
the sheriff's gonna get through the year on what he's been appropriated?
so, but
I think that's
for
enough.
me, I think if we, I don't wanna say let it ride, but if we wait until November to do more, that'll give you time to let all these numbers
Kind of digest
clear
and
out.
see where they're at.
You two make sure you're on the same page,
Yes.
but you have 50 going in there
Mhm.
to work with to get you through a payroll or two, I would think, in overtime. The only difference we're talking about is $26,000. If we need to do that, we do it on a transfer for November.
Yes.
Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Clear as mud?
Yep.
So I need a motion on ordinance 2025-77 to unappropriate $32,899.98 from 1170 and reappropriate it into the general fund for that same amount.
I'll make that motion.
Miller's made the motion. Collins has a second. All in favor of that? 5-0.
That brings that balance to zero. right?
That brings the general fund overtime to 0. And then we'll have to do the same. You want to make you a note on that part-time for general, Kinley? And we'll take care of that one in November, if that's good with you.
Next.
That'll bring that one to 0 and it should clear up your books on that. What else you got, Jennifer?
I believe.
The stack don't look like it's getting much smaller down there.
Okay, there was 2 sent over from the sheriff.
That's about it.
All right.
Okay. Liso and his law enforcement, the 9178 law enforcement.
Okay. And are these
Wait,
additional?
I'm sorry, and this is the 1114, that
Okay.
we definitely need that one.
Where's that? Man, it's in here
The
somewhere.
line is on
Start
that
with that
ordinance
one.
if you,
And let me,
Is it?
yeah.
I gotta get mine caught up.
So right now, it's only $2,098 negative, so we're not too bad there. And we've spent 51,000 out of it on HIV. That's not bad in a year. I mean, we're under, I mean, they talked millions back when. Not that it's good, but I'm saying it's not. I mean, you're 10 months in, you spent $51,000.
Instead of 125,000.
Yeah. All right. You want me to pull up this LISO account? Is this just a
Now that'll be,
request for additional
yes.
in addition to his 4.49?
It's not unappropriated anymore.
Are we going to unappropriate this out of something else?
There's no
Nope.
request for that right now.
He just asking for $10,000 from the LISO account.
For supplies is what it says. And the LISO account,
No, that's the,
This is.
car auction.
yeah,
Yeah.
This is what we just got done discussing down there that we're not doing, right?
Well, this would put you at
Yes, sir.
4.49 million. You would add another $10,000 to the sheriff. So
No.
on ordinance 2025-78, the request is out of the LISO for safety supplies in the amount of $10,000. The options are no motion to move it forward or a motion to move it forward and votes yay or nay.
I'm a little confused,
Okay?
which is nothing new.
That's all right.
LISO fund, that's,
An auction fund.
yeah, I know, but is that, money that's delivered to the whole county, or is that just for the sheriff's office, or what is that?
So it's an auction fund that was set up by the commissioners, for the sheriff, in which he auctions off usually the stuff that they used to go get. It's all that junk behind
I
the
got you.
blue Connex boxes up there. They auction that off usually on Gov Deals, and that money goes into an account. Earlier this year, there was a request, and we made, I thought, pretty clear that the 4.49 was your budget. There was no changing of that. And if you want 10,000 out of this account, that's fine, but we're gonna take 10,000 out of some other line, and I don't see a request to unappropriate anywhere for this account, so.
Okay.
But he did give us a budget for the LISO account for 26, right?
Yes.
Or give us a request
A
for that.
request to put all
He
of it
did
in
not
the
request that in
equipment.
the agreed order.
And I think I understand here, but it's, can't be used by anybody else?
Correct, and this will be
Correct.
there in 2026 for him to use. He's
Correct.
budgeting it. He didn't ask for it to be budgeted. And I think what JR was trying to get across is that the agreement we entered into was for 4.49 million total budget for
Yeah.
2025. And it's fine if he wants to take 10,000 out of LISA, but he needs to tell us where he wants to take,
Remove the
unappropriate
10,000.
10,000 from the general
From the
or the WIC
agreement.
funds that we've given him under that 4.49. Does that make sense?
So you're saying that 4.9, whatever, it also
4.49.
includes LISO?
Yeah, it's total, it's in,
All in.
the wording says the total 2025
And that's by
budget.
the court order, right?
Correct.
And I don't know what choices we have here.
The choices,
No, I mean, if that's the order, we can't do that.
Well, I mean, you can always choose to appropriate him more than what you agreed to.
Ain't happening.
I mean,
Not here,
you
I
can
mean.
choose to
Yeah.
appropriate more than you agreed, give him more than the 4.49 if you want to, but all we're required to provide him is the 4.49.
So what you're saying, it needs to come out of his budget somewhere rather than LISO,
in my opinion, yes.
even though it can't be used by,
It'll sit there until 2026, in my
and
opinion.
in 2026 and use it as wishes?
He sends a budget, and if we choose to budget it, then yes. If he doesn't, then it
And I
would be an
believe he did
additional
send a budget.
appropriation. Then it would
For
be
that.
the additional appropriation procedures.
And what's he want to do with it again?
Says safety supplies is all it says. I don't know.
How much was he appropriated safety supplies out of the two lists in the general, or supplies?
Let me go back to that.
I can tell you out of the agreed order.
You leaving me again? Before I had to bring her a case of water. I'm looking.
I have the agreed order somewhere, but I might have put it in my mediation.
So safety supplies under county general for the sheriff's department is, it was $20,000 and he spent $1,792 over that right now.
How does a line get negative? I don't understand.
Is there safety supplies in another? This one has,
Supplies was negative,
I think it was before.
yeah. So it's been negative. since.
And he, yeah, okay.
I think this is one we got in a mix with the 24 stuff. The other safety supplies for the jail has $9.95 in
But he
it.
was fully funded what he asked for in the agreed order on safety supplies.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And he has other lines that are not in the negative that he could say, I'm not gonna,
Transfer.
yeah, I'm gonna transfer.
Yes.
Or I'm gonna ask you to unappropriate from the general
Alright.
$10,000 or whatever.
So at this time, I will call for a motion on ordinance 2025-78. Any call for motion? Final call, no motion, motion dies. On ordinance 2025-79, it's the same or similar scenario. It's out of the law enforcement training fund, a request for $17,729.20 for other services and charges. So much of the same. I don't believe there's any request to remove $17,729 from anywhere, so it would be in addition to his outstanding budget. Call for a motion on 2025-79.
Is this the same issue that
Same
you
thing,
need something out of the
other one.
budget?
He just take that money from his other budget line that he's got money in to do
And
that.
this
but he's
is
just
money
asking for
coming out
additional.
of,
A law enforcement training fund, which is 9178 fund. So
But by order, let me get this straight, by court order.
we've agreed
we're
to
not
four
really
point
allowed
four
to do
nine.
that, are we?
It's not allowed. We're not required after the agreed order to give him anything more for 2025, 4.49. That's what we agreed his total budget was gonna be. If we choose to appropriate, you can certainly do that and give him more than that. You just can't give him less. But again, when, you know, I don't get too deep in the weeds as far as litigation goes, but
Yeah,
I think, 4.49 was your total budget, and we sort of got into the situation where we had to take drastic measures because he continued to overspend like this. So 4.49 million, and he's got additional appropriation request of, 25,000, now you're up at 4.5 million, and then, next month is at 4.7 million, and I think that's sort of where.
And I will
we drew the
say,
line.
as it
It's up to
sits,
you. If you
as
wanna
it
make a
sits
motion.
right now, if Lau is correct, which we believe it is, the sheriff is sitting at $1,428,515.96 in all of the accounts unexpended in October the 14th,
if I'm reading you right, there's money in his budget to pay these things.
if he so chooses to
Is that
move it to
correct?
there.
Yeah.
There's $1,428,000.
Saying, come on back and see if you want to use that budget
So-
somewhere.
Final call for a motion on ordinance 2025-79. No motion fails or is dead at this time. What's up next? Now, this one, due to a county ordinance, I don't think you have a choice. You have to
It's in our
fund this
agreed
one,
order
and
that
it
we-
is in the agreed order that we will fund from the 1114 fund being the lit special purpose fund for the jail for the HIV medicine, which we talked about a few minutes ago, on ordinance 2025-80 in the amount of $52,098.
And what's that for again?
HIV medication, which we,
Okay.
Yeah, our agreed order
I'm
states
with
that
you.
we'll pay for that.
will that carry to the end of the year on that amount, you think? Or
That's what we discussed that it should.
it should?
Yes.
Okay. So
I'll make the motion.
we believe that
And
will.
this is in addition to.
Yes, because
It
the
has
agreed
to be.
order says that this much has already been appropriated and we would agree to, I think it says up to so much, and we're not there yet, but, yeah, we've agreed. We don't really have any choice but to pay that.
And that's something that needs to be done anyway.
Yes.
Second it.
Motion by Collins, second by White. All in favor of that one? 5-0 on that.
What do you got next, Jen?
Is that it for the sheriff's department?
I have more, but I don't
There's
know.
more here that Heather and I had talked
Oh,
about
yes.
before, but I'm still not seeing those. Kimberly and I kind of looked over them.
You think his numbers are good?
I think they're good.
Okay, well
I
then
think
let's
we're good
just,
on this.
let's not propose
Okay.
them then, and we're good. Because I'm an attorney, not a mathematician.
Yeah, I have,
Got
I have
30.
three
I've never
more.
heard that before.
I was told there'd be no
We got
math,
it.
that's why I went to law school.
there's one right there in front of you. It's a law enforcement fund. It's a state police reimbursement agreed order that we need to pay.
That's gonna be
I think
81.
that is from the.
So this is, yeah, I did look at, it looks like the prosecuting attorney was holding, to me, it looks like they were holding some kind of, funds. There was a lawsuit filed and Chris Owen entered into this agreed judgment where we agreed to pay the state police 27,780.55.
So this has nothing to do with the agreed order that we all
No, no, no,
discussed.
no.
Agreed.
It says that,
Okay. And that's my fault. So I seen the agreed
This-
order and was like, wait a minute, I didn't enter into an agreed order with the state police.
so it looks like that the state police see some currency from this gentleman. And I'm assuming he got put in our jail and we had some money, cause I mean, it's going through that this was all like a federal forfeiture. And Chris could probably explain, I'm just looking at this for the first time. 49,000 is gonna be returned to Hector Smith. The remaining sum should be forfeited to the state for reimbursement of law enforcement.
So this is
Scott Crowley-
probably an agreement
Yeah, so.
based upon a conviction or a
It
plea
looks like
agreement.
we had the money because it says we're getting 16,317, Chris's office says, and that the state police is getting the 27,780. Is that where?
So I wonder if
Can,
it's,
can we?
So do we
table
have
this
that
and
money
go
in
and
there?
talk to Chris and find out what it is.
Look at 4926, because I'm sort of confused as to, do
I
we
think
have
he
that money? Did we
didn't
take that
talk
money?
about this in, I think he did talk about something like this.
Well, he talked about not thinking that we would have many more,
Yeah.
But I remember he said
all
that-
but yeah, you're free to table it if you want, but it would make no sense to me to pay that out to the state police if we don't have, if we didn't take in the funds. The state police made the arrest and they seized the funds, so why would we have their 27,000?
Unless it was a mutual.
Maybe it's
case.
mutual, you hold it in your fund.
Well, I'd feel a whole lot better to, come back down here tomorrow, talk to Chris and ask him what is this? And then,
I just don't want to, let me see if there's a timeline on when we're supposed to do this. Looks like it was entered.
So this is, are you looking at 72 CO1 2502 MI 31?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was entered in August.
yeah, it was put into that account in that amount in August on that court order.
Okay,
So I feel, for me, I feel pretty confident that if they entered it with that court order and that's what she's reading,
yeah, because the
That's where it's
16,317 would be
the other part
ours.
that goes to the
Well, the
prosecutor,
prosecuting attorneys, and then the 27,700. So it looks like they put the money into
that account.
our account and we're supposed to pay out
Does that make
whoever
you
it
feel
is.
better
We
about
have to appropriate it. It
no,
looks like it goes to an attorney.
where'd it go to? I mean, would have that been put into the, like, the county's general fund? Cause that's what we're going.
No.
No, it's put in this law,
It's coming out of this.
it's law enforcement fund.
Oh, okay.
So it's coming out of
It's
one of
not out of general.
Chris's accounts. You know how he has all them that we budget.
It went into that fund and we're just taking, appropriating it back out so Chris can
You
pay
good?
the agreed judgment.
I'm cool.
Make a motion with
Did
that.
you get that?
Motion, second. Motion by Miller, second by Collins. All in favor of the 27.7, 80.55, 5-0.
Well, I just thought it was something we supposed to be paying out of the general fund and.
That's why I wanted to make sure it was in that fund.
Thanks for whoever
And
dug
here's
into
the-
all that and figured it out.
Jennifer
I
gave me the
appreciate it.
paperwork.
Thank you very much.
Cause I was like, I know we're gonna have some questions on this one.
What else you got? Somebody throw me
The-
something else.
Exam of records.
Oh, yeah. That's real, the lovely state, or State Board of Accounts.
Mhm.
So I called, I'm not gonna lie, I'll say it on camera. I called one of our state reps and I asked, why is this the only state business that comes here and does something that's ordered by the law and we have to pay them? I disagree with it. I understand we have to pay it, but I'm gonna fight it and argue it at a higher level, just so everybody knows, and that's where I stand on it. If we call the state police, they don't send me a bill. If we call a state health department, they don't send us a bill. So I disagree wholeheartedly, but I do understand you have to pay bills, so I will vote for it, but that's for the record, my feelings on it. 2025-82 out of the Commissioner's Fund in the amount of $61,380.29 going to the State Board of Accounts for a recent audit they completed. Entertain a motion to
I'll
pay.
make a motion to pay our bills.
White's made a motion. Collins with a second. All in favor? Against my better judgment, 5-0. I don't know. I'll argue that to anybody who'll listen.
But we don't wanna hear it.
I know you
That's the
don't.
community building for Temple and Temple, the Temple and Temple contract.
Which, this is the contract that was handed out earlier. I think, did everybody get a copy of or get an opportunity to see it? It's on ordinance 2025-83. It is a request from the county commissioners to enter into this contract with Temple and Temple to refurbish, for lack of better words, the church building over by the sheriff's office, coming from the restricted opioid fund to the community building in the amount of $324,500. Any questions or comments on this?
I think before we do that,
Sure.
the lady from Cease, if you've seen all that, they think they can get us a grant for like, up to what,
That's what I just
$750,000?
heard a few minutes ago.
And I talked to the president of the board a while ago about it too.
The-
He had no problem with that. I just wonder if we're just jumping too soon on this, if we can get this grant money later. And it doesn't mean we're gonna get it all.
And plus, we've not received any money in on that, so I think as a council, I think we just need to table it myself.
I think so.
Well, I think we fought all year on this budget, trying to save all the money we can absolutely save. And to me, that's taking money and just peeing it away to me. And we haven't been able to do it on the other account. I don't want to do it on this as well.
Well, I think,
There's organizations in here, in our community that's doing more with it than what we'll get out of that church.
I think we need, and you tell me, we probably need Clarissa and Kelly, who said they can do this for us. Do we have to give them permission to do it? Or
I
does that have to
think
come to
they're
the
gonna try to put
commissioners?
them on the commissioner meeting for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have to agree to it too, or does they?
No, I think
What?
yeah.
It
If it's a-
depends.
Financial.
I mean, if they're a
So if it's a
government
grant
agency,
going
then,
to them,
yeah, then we don't care if it's a
We
grant going to a private agency.
if it's
Doesn't matter.
if they would then want to donate said grant funds, then we would have to accept those in and allocate them to be used. It'd be the same scenario we had with the compactor.
Hmm.
John Q. Public decides he wants to donate X amount of dollars. It is set up in a fund through the commissioners. Then this body has the responsibility to allocate those funds for use. It don't mean go spend John Q. Public's $80, $100 million, whatever they donated. It means it sets in a fund until this body decides to spend it.
But the commissioner's the only one that needs to agree to have them do it? Or do
I don't
we
even
have to
think-
agree
You
all?
mean to get the grant?
I don't even
Or
think
to at least apply
they're
for
a
the
separate
grant.
entity.
I
They don't
think the
need our
commissioners
permission.
have to agree to it either because it's a separate
They
thing.
really asked them, you said they're coming.
If they're our
Probably to try to tell them. that they
ceases
can
in our
get it.
office
I mean,
and
the other
holding
option is
spaces
you
and-
can buy the property from the
Here's
commissioners.
what I think.
Well, they're not, I think they're,
Hang on one second.
it's not for them, it's for us. For
Yes,
the county, rather.
But they
Well-
would have to write a grant for them
yes.
Good to know
unless the commissioners are entering into this grant or however they choose to work it. But if Cease or Holding Space want to get a grant, that's on them. They're not county
Yeah, they're
offices.
not county offices.
If they choose with said grant funds to renovate a county-owned building, then that would become a donation from them to the county and be used as
Yeah.
such.
Okay, well, they're willing to try, so.
I agree, absolutely.
I think we're, go ahead and put it on the table so we can vote it up or down, because if we keep that just laying around, we're gonna have to just keep on looking at it.
Or pending it.
Better than spending it,
Uh,
when we don't, I mean,
There's only certain things that can be
I
spent.
think, I think he's saying you vote nay or yay.
And kill it for now and bring it back
I
up
feel like
later.
the idea of tabling it myself, but
Well, somebody make a motion either
I
way.
made a motion to table it. I
Oh, you
mean, whatever y'all wanna do.
So Miller's got a motion on the floor to table it.
Especially if they're trying, especially
With
if
a
they're trying to
second.
get a grant, you know, so that's,
He beat you to it.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, you got the motion. He's got the second.
I didn't get a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All in favor of tabling it?
I've changed my mind, no.
5-0.
All right, so we're gonna table number 83.
Are we done?
No, you got minutes.
No, you got,
I got one more contract we gotta talk about.
I looked at it, I looked at it.
One last contract, being it's October, the contract with our county council attorney is up at the end of the year, and there's a new contract in front of us, which numbers are the same, working at the same hourly rate for us,
I moved, we approve them.
so,
I second it.
all right.
I moved it, we tabled it.
Motion by Collins with a second by Miller. All in favor of the contract for our
I
attorney.
should have left the room.
I was
5-0.
wanting to negotiate.
$150 an hour, that's a pretty sweet
I
deal.
don't think you're gonna negotiate that.
That is a pretty sweet
I
deal.
move, we approve the minutes. Hey, I
You wanna
looked
sign
at
up?
them. They were good.
I'm with you.
I don't print the minutes because it jams up my
Motion on the
computer.
floor,
It's trying to print legal.
Motion on the floor to approve minutes before us.
I'll second it.
Second by, I'm sorry, Kenley, that was by Collins, the second by White on the minutes. All in favor of minutes? 5-0 on that.
Move, we adjourn.
Any
I
other
got
business?
one
We
question, I
got,
don't know, we had, like I said, we had two, from the city of Austin, we had two checks come in. Mandy didn't understand what they were for. I didn't look at the checks to see if they said transfer station. She deposited them in, 1,00990, which is miscellaneous receipts for the county. Those should have been receipted into 1,000, I think it's 0060.
Well, just do transfer.
Huh?
Just do transfer.
Okay, so when we
Or-
do transfer for next,
Or are we gonna transfer that into that fund that you talked about, which would mean unappropriate, reappropriate it to
we
that?
can, it could go to either one.
Cause with that, additional, and I'm thinking, so tell me if I'm wrong, the additional we did tonight for the transfer would carry it to the end of the year. So if we took whatever receipts come in and put it in that fund, that would give them something to begin 26.
I don't need to.
So
No,
why don't
Jennifer,
we?
you do, but then Jennifer
So
has
that's
to.
not gonna make a bit of difference. Why don't, for right now, for bills, why don't we do the resolution to just unappropriate it from that line she put it in and then reappropriate it to the transfer fund?
Okay.
Everybody good with that? And then we'll hear that officially November meeting. She had one other one, the money related to the
Got another one.
IT department. Did we get that one
We
straightened
did
out?
that one.
I think we did that one.
We got that.
I don't remember how much.
It was a
Yeah,
transfer.
surrender.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's for Andrew.
So-
because you said Andrew's not here, but
Yeah.
I could call
Well, Mandy had sent an email saying she made a mistake and I was like, well, we'll correct it. But I think that's what it was
Oh, well,
entered.
wait a minute, then I don't,
Let me find it
the
here.
one I knew Andrew sent to me, so I don't know if there was something different.
This says money was wired out for our IT to take care of an invoice for Rugged Books. To have the financial system reflect the expenditure, I processed a pre-run entry. Fortunately, after further checking, Ryan and Mandy, I think maybe Ryan said he fixed this. Is that?
Well, what
right?
that one was, it was sent out, let me see if I can remember this. This was either sent out September 30th. So our books show it September 30th and maybe Ryan's show it October 1st or vice versa. But it keeps us from balancing at the end of the year. She needs to change the date instead of the amount or anything. It's the date of when it was done.
I want to say, would that be, I don't know, is, a Form 61 correction?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's
And what that form
that's what
shows is that
confused
we're
me.
balancing with each other.
So he said Mandy had sent an email to change the date on a wire transfer. He corrected the issue. Everything's good with SBOA and Lao. I've loaded up the information on Gateway. I think we're good. And that was as of yesterday. So we're good on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else from us you need, Jennifer?
Well, I would like to know October 3rd, when we were there at the mediation. Okay, we're still gonna have, we've got bills, like Johnson Control bills that aren't being paid. Where do those come from? How do we,
Well, first of all, we never signed a contract with Johnson Controls. Who done that? Well, we be using Johnson Controls. We got a
Commissioner
contract,
signed a
with
proposal.
SNL.
The commissioners, I think, signed a proposal with, I don't know if it's a contract or a proposal they've got there with them.
Well, where does the sheriff say he's gonna take it out of his budget?
Well, that's what I was wondering, because did we decide Friday, is it the commissioner's line or is it gonna be the sheriff's line? Because there's not money.
The sheriff, there has been no change in the way things are done. I mean, his attorney was not able to provide a change in any kind of policy that says the sheriff was not going to continue to maintain the jail. The county's responsibility is to provide a jail, not to maintain it, and the sheriff has traditionally maintained the jail. I mean, I don't know how the commissioners would know what needs to be maintained. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe anything changed after mediation as far as maintenance.
Well, that's why I wanted to make sure. I didn't know,
So we,
because that's what I've been waiting on, is to see where we're directed to pay that
So
from.
well, I mean, the sheriff needs,
what might help you is, and this is from Derek from the mediation. I wasn't there, but this follow-up, I emailed you, so you have it.
Just
But
now?
yes,
Oh, okay, because I was gonna say, I have not seen that.
it says on
I
or
don't- I mean,
before,
we're not gonna talk about that.
what,
You can talk about.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
He should provide you a written document.
That's what I was gonna say. Is there a written document? Not having an attorney that goes out of the room.
No,
and
I'm
I don't
saying-
Oh, did he
step
not
back.
send that? So
No,
Derek,
I get none of this. That's
I
what I'm
sent that
saying.
to her.
And you're asking me to make decisions.
I'm not asking you to make a decision. You should not be. The sheriff should be telling you where to take those funds out of. And if he needs to move, money from his sheriff's car budget to somewhere else to pay for them. But I mean, how much are we talking about?
I will have to go back and look.
He,
I've got pretty
before,
good staff.
before end of business tomorrow, he's supposed to
Provide
send
you.
us a year-to-date budget spending from all sources and what he projects the end of year balance to be.
Which would have to include those bills, I would think.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think the mediation, when we left mediation, it was, well, let's see what happens with these additional appropriation stuff, which I'm not sure why, because
And
the only
can I ask,
additional was HIV
Do
really.
we need a transfer from the cars line that has some money in it
There
to?
might be something we'll need to do.
Well, and he's fixing, if that's much money at all, is why I was asking, because he's asked the commissioners about buying a car
Yes.
that's gonna blow through most of that line, and then where are you gonna take this other stuff from if that happens?
Jennifer, what I would say is when things like that come up
How
that
much is
you
those
don't
bills?
know where
Let's
to
just
take it
type up
from,
a
it's not on
transfer.
you to figure out.
Well, that's
It's
what
for
I'm
you to
saying.
say,
That's why I asked
Sheriff,
how much
where
we
in your
got.
budget is this coming out of? And
But I'm
if it's,
thinking if
you have to
we're at
pay it out of the correct
mediation,
line.
Do we
There's
have,
three attorneys, one of those attorneys should be sending me the information you're getting.
Can I
do we
ask,
I got it
have
from meeting.
outstanding bills
I will
right
make
now?
sure it comes to you.
Yes, there are outstanding bills
How
for
much?
maintenance. I don't have a total on that. I'll
Do
have to
you-
go back through my emails because there's been some sent over sporadically.
Do we need to
But-
transfer from that cars line while we're here to get her ability to pay bills?
I don't have a number to do that right now.
Can you add them up?
Yeah, I can.
so,
It'll take a little bit, huh?
did the other heating air company, where the other maintenance person quit working on the jail? Is that the reason why they went to Johnson Controls?
I have
And
no
if we paid
idea.
the other company a full year of maintenance, they should be covering that. That's the second question. Third of all, why is some bills that gets paid out of commissary, that you gotta pay bills out of your account for the same company? Why is that?
I
So,
think those are all good questions for the sheriff.
yeah, because
I got some
I
questions.
don't think Jennifer
for that.
knows it.
I don't, but I'm saying, if you look at the commissary report, he pays bills out, the same bills that you pay, that he gives you. So why is he doing that? I mean, that's what, I don't understand that.
Jennifer, if you're not directed of where to pay it from and there's no line, then you need to
That's
come to
why
this
they've been
body.
sitting there. Yeah.
Because,
Can you go back and add them up while we're all
Why,
here?
why don't we take a little break and give
Yeah,
Jennifer time to
take a
add it up
break.
and do a transfer resolution from,
Because
I guess, the cars line to the
Otherwise-
maintenance line?
I think that's gonna get spent, and you're not gonna be left with any money to pay bills.
And we're gonna be back to a gun to our head
pay
saying,
it.
you know, hey, I've spent. Now you have to come
Well,
up
let
with
me,
funds.
so the bills are waiting to be paid, but you're saying the commissioners approved the Johnson Controls
That contract.
There's a
contract?
proposal. Let me go pull that up and.
there's a proposal and there's also a
There-
contract.
There's
But
a
I'm about to say,
proposal
we had a contract with SNL for this year that was signed and paid for. So is that what, that's double
The
dipping.
commissioner signed a contract.
We need about
I don't
10
know.
minutes.
Yeah,
Let
let's,
me
I
put
thought you
this on
well,
mute.
you said a contract.
We'll take
Yeah,
a little
because,
break.
because SNL
Are we on, Kinley?
What's the number?
I think we're on 33,
What are we doing?
but I just want confirmation.
49,000 in bills. Some are S and L, some
30, I don't have a 30.
that, no, there's a bunch.
I'm gonna check and see if it's paid on here.
Okay,
I don't see them,
so we're on 32.
but they're not in there yet.
Jennifer, are we off mute?
No, yeah, you're off mute now.
Oh, sorry about that. We're back on here at 9:37 PM. Oh, my Lord. The 14th of October with one last order of business before we can adjourn this meeting. After a review of some outstanding bills in the auditor's office, there's come the need for a transfer between budget classifications where the Scott County Council has requested to transfer within the sheriff's budget a total of $41,400.85 for outstanding bills that are sitting in the auditor's office currently that need to be paid. The only place that I see reasonable to take this is in the sheriff car line and move it to the repair and maintenance line to allow them the ability to pay these outstanding bills, as they've not had any correspondence from the sheriff, but we can't have outstanding bills and put us in arrears. So I would entertain a motion to accept resolution 2025-32, which would transfer the $41,400.85 from the sheriff car line to a newly created line of repair and maintenance in the general fund within the sheriff's budget to be able to pay these maintenance bills.
I'd make,
Are we taking just
motion.
what it is, or we're putting more money than he needs?
Just taking what is needed for the outstanding bills she's sitting on right now that need to be paid.
That's been sent to
I'd
me.
make a motion that we pay our bills.
White's made a motion on the floor on 2025-32,
I'll second it.
second by Collins. Any other questions or comments? Again, it is the minimum required to pay the outstanding bills that are sitting in the office. All in favor of that? 5-0. Does anybody have any other business that needs to be talked about or
So we're meeting
discussed?
again the 17th?
At 9 AM will be the budget public hearing.
Okay. Then when we're gonna meet again for,
Hold that thought.
okay.
Entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I did that 2 hours ago.
White with the motion,
I'll second.
second by Miller. The regular meeting adjourned, all in favor. 5-0 on adjournment. Let me know when that's off and we'll discuss our schedules.